eastern states competitors who are heading that way. Megatick, the locals, top weight with 57 kilos. Sniper's Bullet, Nash, 56.5. All-American Corey, 56. Gold Salute. Oliver takes over 55.5 and Largo. Hortensia is a bit of a waiting game here, isn't it?
Yes, I don't think Tony's made a final decision yet. I believe he'll...
The main ones, All-American at $5.50. Gold Salute, the favourite, at $3.40. Hortensia at $7.10. Tarzi at $11. And Eliotto given some hope. Grand Nirvana at $10.
Late has been for All-American number 3. It is $5.55 into $4.80. All-American, the late support for that.
Runners, previous winners of this race.
Scott Mile, the gates are back and they're away and racing, and Eliotto got a great start off the inside. He won the break from All-American. Williams is going to send Hortensia forward. Key to Money speeding up now in search of the lead with Sniper's Bullet into the first turn. Colour Correct is going to press on. He's rushing forward in front of that. Tarzi being followed by Famous Raymond. Grand Nirvana getting across midfield. Beautiful in the back half on the inside. Then Lord's Ransom followed by Largo Lad. Arroyo Gold second last at the 1,000 metres mark and 2 lengths to Lambton Castle. It's Key to Money. Sniper's Bullet going stride for stride down the river side of the course. Key to Money now goes to about a half-length lead. Sniper's Bullet at the 800. Eliotto's got the sweetest of runs on the fence third. Hortensia beautifully placed running fourth. 3 deep, Colour Correct. Then came All-American in the middle. Spirited One is over on the inside of him. And then Tarzi being allowed to stride up 3 wide following Colour Correct. In the centre, Famous Raymond losing ground. Oliver's hard at work on Gold Salute, trying to push him up near the fence, nearing the turn. Grand Nirvana trying to get out underneath the neck of Megatick, coming to the turn. Then Lord's Ransom, but Sniper's Bullet storms to the lead in the straight and the railway. Sniper's Bullet booted 2 in front. Hortensia leads the chase. Colour Correct and Eliotto behind them, followed by Tarzi. He's starting to run on, so's Grand Nirvana. Sniper's Bullet down to the 100 from Hortensia. Tarzi running on, but it's Sniper's Bullet in front. Runner-up last year, champion this year. Sniper's Bullet beat Tarzi. Grand Nirvana, Colour Correct, camera third. Lord's Ransom, what a run by him first up. And Eliotto followed home by Famous Raymond. All-American and Arroyo Gold. Hortensia next in. Largo Lad followed by Lambton Castle. Gold Salute finished well back. Then came Spirited One. Key to Money was next home. And amongst the tail end.
Wow, I don't think he's won a race for a couple of years, but what a thrill for Tracy Bartley, Nash Rawiller, Sniper's Bullet in the big Group 1. They can't. Such a great rider in these big races, isn't he? So 2, 7, 8 got third and 11 fourth. Look at some of those.
Champion this year, great call by Darren McCauley. $17 there for Tracy Bartley. Nice ride by National Wheeler as well. If you're going to have a non-winner, this is 2.5-year drought, but $2 million races. The Stradbroke, obviously, 2.5 years ago, and then the Group 1 Railway. He loves this time of racing.
A terrific ride. Tarzi, I thought, have to give it to Bartley and Rawiller. Just the way they tactically thought out this race. This horse had been caught up on the inside at Flemington in a few runs. He was hard fit. They drove him out. They sat outside the lead. And I think the winning move was taking off at the 600 because he had an explosive mare on his back there in Hortensia, and she was always going to be suspect at the mile.
Yeah, it got to the distance limit about 100 to go.
Took the sting out of her. Yeah. And she doesn't run a mile anyway. No. But a slowly run race, and she may have been a chance of running a mile. But all honours with everyone concerned with Snipers.
The Snipers Bullet, he's turned the campaign, and
he can make excuses for some of the beaten brigade, but really that's a weight-carrying record for Snipers Bullet, 56.5 kgs.
Schwa Sierra, as I mentioned earlier, definitely goes to the Winterbottom Stakes, and then for a spell, it's down on 53.5 kilos with Waratah's Secret next week in the Winterbottom. Some new
Waratah's Secret, this unbeaten 3-year-old, untapped potential. He could be anything, and he's $3.20 to continue that sequence today. Hortensia at $3.70, beaten into 6th place in the railway, but only went down just over 2 lengths. It was a pretty good run. I tell you, there's been a good push for both favourites. Hortensia opened up $4.40 and is now into $3.70. It's continued to firm at every fluctuation, so it mirroring its super tab price. Hortensia
to come in. On the field is set. The player Winterbottom Stakes. Racing Ken's double out quickly. Mama Machine. Sheena said Grey hit the ground well. Waratah's Secret. He's going to posse up just behind them. And Noble Steed gathering pace, and he's starting to bustle out Idyllic Prince through the first 250 with Revolution. Kid Schwarzer had to ease back on the inside. Harvey presses forward with Waratah's Secret, however. Ken's double couldn't get in. Then London checking off heels. Follow the Road is deeper out, followed by Black in Time. Royal Lot Hortensia's back last on the rail. At the 700, Mama Machine taken on by Waratah's Secret. He's going up now and he's challenging Mama Machine. They're a length and a half to Ken's double, and Idyllic Prince is getting a great camp on the 2 leaders. Noble Steed dropped off quickly. Kid Schwarzer is on the inside coming into the home turn from Sheena said Grey. Revolution beaten. London's over on the fence. Black in Time. Hortensia a long way from them. In the straight though, Waratah's Secret tackled and headed by Idyllic Prince. It's Idyllic Prince surging to the lead in the winter bottom. Here comes Hortensia though. Look at her. She's flying. She's got wings. Hortensia gathered up Idyllic Prince. Black in Time, and it's the Victorian. Hortensia came with a barnstorming run to win the winter bottom brilliantly over Black in Time and the stablemate Idyllic Prince from London. Then came Revolution. Kidshaw. Great training effort. Tony Noonan. Hortensia. Craig Williams. The Victorian mare out of the Railway Stakes last week, back last on the fence, and she has come with a spectacular finishing burst. 1:08.54 is a new race record. 1:08.54 has broken Ellie Corsam's record set 5 years ago, and she has literally sprouted wings and stormed home to win a sensational victory
today. It's a deserved victory for her, and also for Tony Noonan, as Darren mentioned, a wonderful training performance to bring her back the 400 metres, and a lovely patient ride by Craig.
Back up from the Railway Stakes last Saturday, back to the 1200 metres. That really suited her, as did the addition of the blinkers. She was saddled up as the race favourite.
It's justified too for Hortensia. We've always known she's a genuine Group 1 horse. Got her off it. Terrific horse. Look, you can't really make many excuses for the balance of the field. I thought personally that Idyllic Prince had every conceivable chance in running. Back in Time, the horse that Hortensia followed was very, very game in defeat there. I suppose wins 9 out of 10, but run into a very, very good one. Waratah's Secret, the interesting little 3-year-old that took its place yesterday, the blinkers went on. And we've seen it in the past. When people do put them on, it can have different effects at different times. Yesterday, it missed the start, and Paul Harvey tried to be as kind as he could.
Look, an amazing effort from the Mare Hortensia. And look, we've been saying on this program, and a lot of people have been emailing in and saying, look, why don't they ride Hortensia cold? That's when she races at her best. And whether it was by design or whether it was by good luck yesterday, I'm not sure. But she ended up back in the field in a fast run race. They broke the race record. I think it was a 5-year-old race record that Ellie Corsam set over there. So obviously the pace was on. And she's just unleashed this finishing burst that we know she's got. We know she doesn't get 1,600 metres quite, but 1,200 metres with a fast pace where she can get back, she is devastating. Perth sprinters, they're very good.
And Nirvana, the only other pair under $10. And there's the latest through TAB Sportsbet with the fixed odds. I can tell you on track that there's been a move for Tarzi, number 3, who's been knocking on the door. He's been racing always this $500,000 Kingston Town Classic. And we're pretty much over here at the 1,800 metre start, getting a good look at these nice horses before they move in for the Group 1 today. Sniper's Bullet over there is lovely and relaxed, although it takes a fair bit to phase Sniper's Bullet. He's had plenty of trips away from home before.
Hits the button. And they're racing in the Kingston Town. And Megatick Grand Nirvana got out quickly. And Miller's riding the ears off Dante's Banquet. Speeding over now from God Has Spoken, Famous Roman. And going up as Sniper's Bullet as well. Scenic Shot settled down on the inside of the mare Delta G. And then came on the rail Thorn Dancer, being followed on the outside by Lord's Ransom. Cassandra, a shadow behind. Ryan's Touch. Well, Dan Miller's off and he's gone here in the Kingston Town as they go to the 1,100 with Dante's Banquet. Low level flying by 5 lengths. Famous Famous Raymond. A length and a half away, third, Grand Nirvana. Ollie has Sniper's Bullet up on the outside, fourth. Mega Tick over on the inside, then God Has Spoken, who's going to track Sniper's Bullet. Over on the inside, then to Scenic Shot, Delta G together. Thorn Dancers over on the rail and a half length away, then Lord's Ransom. 2 to Cassandra, Shadow Star Encounter, followed by Street Fighter, and then still 5 lengths to Tarzi and Largo Lad. Friars Touch with Dante's Banquet at the 550, coming back to them. Dante's Banquet led by 2.5 lengths. Sniper's Bullet is about to quickly set out after him. Famous Raymond on the fence. Grand Nirvana fourth. God Has Spoken. Mega Tick, then Delta G. Thorn Dancers tracked up well behind them, and Brown's looking to work into the clear with Scenic Shot, but Sniper's Bullet reaches the lead at the top of the home straight. Down to the 300. Sniper's Bullet by 2 lengths. Grand Nirvana, God Has Spoken, Mega Tick and Thorn Dancer. Oliver draws the whip on Snipers. At the 100, Sniper's Bullet is clear. He looks home in the Kingston Town. Sniper's Bullet is too good, and he's going to capture the Railway Stakes Kingston Town double. Brilliant win by Sniper's Bullet over God Has Spoken and Scenic Shot. Over on the inside then, on pulling up behind them, Cassandra Shadow and also Thorn Dancer, followed then by 146.95 they've run. 146.95, it's only 5/100ths of a second outside of Nicanero's race record set last year, in which Sniper's Bullet ran third, and it has been his summer of dreams. Sniper's Bullet, again on target. Ridden by Dave.
The Sniper's Bullet joins the likes of Modem, Old Comrade, Island Morn and Better Loosen Up in more recent years to win the Railway Kingston Town double. And the horse,
you know, he's just in a purple patch at the moment. He's won another Group 1. Okay, probably wasn't the strongest Group 1 he's ever run in. But I tell you what, he gave everything a chance. He sat up on the pace. He made his own luck. And he was just too good. So that
race, which enabled us to get over quite easily into a nice position. We settled sort of third or fourth, and probably got to the front a little bit sooner than I would have liked. But the horse is in such tremendous form. He kicked strongly, and you know, it was a comfortable win.
I mean,
God Has Spoken and Scenic Shot third, and
even Scenic Shot, isn't it lovely to see him go back home and perform so well? Because he was probably a little bit unlucky, although I don't think he would have beaten the winner. May have run second because he was held up a little bit getting to the 450-metre mark, but very, very genuine.
Winner, he left his rivals, no excuses there. He drew the outside, he worked, and then I was a little worried when the leader just took off and just went berserk in front, because he was sitting in the death and had to drag the field up at the weight for age there. And look, he won running away. He had them beaten on the turn. The horses behind him. And look, no excuses whatsoever. So, look, the favourite Scenic Shot is probably been up a while now and here and there, but so is the winner, and he's coped with it better. Look, 2.5 million now, that horse Scenic Shot. And what about Tracy Bartley? He's done a terrific job. What about those glasses? I remember when he used to buy his glasses.
There is no rain forecast for the meeting today. The track is going to be quite firm, but certainly no rain on the way in Hong Kong, and the track will come up in our terms as good. Now, Graham Begg has all silent in the sprint barrier, 14 of 14, but they certainly won't be changing the riding tactics. They'll go back and come with that withering burst of the other Australians. Apache Cat, barrier 9 for Damien Oliver. They'll blend into the race pretty nicely from that draw. Scenic Blast, they can't fault the past fortnight.
Hong Kong, some of the prices here in Hong Kong that these horses have taken up. I mean, in the sprint, which is just an unbelievable race, you're not going to believe the price you can get about Scenic Blast for a fantasy. Yeah. Paying over 20 to 1 at the moment here, so there's got to be some extraordinary prices here.
Okay, now just speaking of prices, just before we see the fields going up, and of course the local star Sacred Kingdoms had the one run back.
Yeah, he's actually had what you would call him, but Happy Zero beat him, and Happy Zero's supreme horse of Hong Kong. He's only been beat.
Here's Adam. For Australia,
get back from gate 14, Nicholas Hall to ride, and it'll be a big occasion.
Expect him to improve, but all signs got the right form. Yeah, it's Scenic Blast. I mean, generally he gets back. Do you think he'll try and be a little bit closer from the gate? Yeah, speaking to Dan Morton during the week, I'm sure he's trying to put himself into a competitive position.
And they're racing. And Sacred Kingdom was the first out of the gates.
But quickly mustering underneath him, Total Gallery and California Flag race for the early lead. And here's the Japanese sprinter, Laurel Guerrero, urged to go forward wide out. And the two expected leaders are there. California Flag and Laurel Guerrero is really pressing the leader into the first turn. Total Gallery takes the sit in third, Cannonball fourth, and Preble's got Sacred Kingdom fifth. Off the course is War Artist from Borderless Scott, Green Birdie, Scenic Blast back on the fence, then Joy and Fun, followed then by Apache Cat, who's got three behind him, Inspiration, All Silent, and One World's at the tail of the field. They are running quickly in the lead. California Flag in front from Laurel Guerrero, under the pump Total Gallery from War Artist, Sacred Kingdom being called upon now. Scenic Blast is back on the fence labouring, Joy and Fun's working into the clear, All Silent being ridden for luck between them. Apache Cat's too far back, and One World is starting to lengthen now as Sacred Kingdom hits the lead. Sacred Kingdom draws clear in the sprint. One World is coming down the outside, but Sacred Kingdom from One World. Sacred Kingdom a half length. One World second, Joy and Fun for Hong Kong third. They've run 1, 2, 3. Green Birdie running on. Then California Flag. Further back to Cannonball. Apache Cat late from Total Gallery. All Silent. Inspiration, Borderless Scott. Laurel Guerrero, Scenic Blast couldn't get into it. And War Artist finished at the tail of the field. He's back. Sacred Kingdom claiming the 2009 sprint. Handled by Brett Preble. What a big run in defeat by One World. He's come from last to run second. Been beaten a half length. And Joy and Fun capping off the perfect result for the Hong Kong team third. And Green Birdie getting up to run fourth, having run second in the race last year. California Flag, Brett Preble coming back to scale. And the crowd gives him a hero's return. Violet was being ridden. A hero's return. Violet was being ridden for luck. Nicholas Hall's taking an inside run on All Silent, and he's about 3/4 of a length behind Apache Cat. Silent's finished about midfield, but it was hard to tell from those shots there. 25.50 and
8.70. New South Wales shorter. They've been loyal. 6.50. 6.60 is on the Unitab. The Boom Horse Happy Zero. He's the favourite on all the Australian totes as well. 2.10 New South Wales, 2.30 on Super Tab.
I said tipping and betting are completely different things. And $1.70, the difference at $3.70 for Good Barbar at the top of the betting, I think they should be a little bit closer. But the European... And then your editions of the mile. Good Barbar is the last to step up into the stage. And then they'll be ready to run. $16 million in prize money. And the starter is about to release the field, racing in the Hong Kong mile. And Cootsy's come out on Egyptian Run. Not as quickly, though, as Able One and Sight Winner. And Cootsy's going to have to work a little bit on Egyptian Run. The Tory takes hold, and Alexandros, he's racing clean. Fellowship the inside, wider out racing to win, and pressing does press on. Further back to the grey, Greed to Grindros. Greed to agree the fence, wider out racing to win from Duff. Two further back to Happy Zero, who's got back in the field, and he switched off nicely. On the outside of Fernley, Good Barbar's tracking the favourite. A length further back, and the nose roll confront, improving his position on the fence, and the filly Sweetheart is last. Down the side, it's an uncontested lead for Egyptian Ra, with Able One picking up to his quarters now. Pushing Sight Winner 3 deep and third. On the outside, racing to win, makes a mid-race move, and Bowman goes after the leaders. Then came Alexandros. Happy Zero pulls out. Good Barbar pulls out with him. We're in for a great finish. Able One heads off Egyptian Ra. Here's Happy Zero lengthening. Good Barbar's trying to go with him. Fellowship's there, 3 off the fence. Egyptian Ra, Fellowship. Happy Zero drives at them, and Good Barbar. Will this be history? Yes! Good Barbar swamps them. There's 3 in a row. Good Barbar beat Happy Zero in Fellowship. Once again, it's a Hong Kong result. Egyptian Ra, he kicked on strongly. Then Greed Agree from Able One. Alexandros, Sight Winner Fernley. Then Confront from Sweetheart, and he's done it. Good Barbar. 3 Hong Kong miles. 7 Group 1 wins. And Olivier Deleuze has got him there. He's won pulling away over the concluding 50 metres from Happy Zero. And
here in a row by number 1, Good Barbar. And a great win it was too. 4.20 New South Wales.
Australian racing has lost one of its most popular horses with the retirement of sprinter Apache Cat. The 8-year-old's owner says he had no choice after the champion broke down last weekend in Hong Kong. Apache's only option.
He's been a magic horse for us in our lives. He's changed our lives. He's changed the lives of everyone about him. And then making that decision to say, we'll never have that anymore. yeah, it was heart-wrenching.
With his distinctive white markings, Apache Cat was very much the people's horse.
I mean, you meet people who have shrines to Apache Cat. They love him deep down.
Apache Cat flashes
The racing public's deep affection keenly felt in his last win on home turf at Moonee Valley on Cox Plate Day. He retires with 8 Group 1 wins to his name and over $4 million in winnings. Tim McMillan.
After only Jason Maskeel, now only claiming 2 kilos, not 3 as in the book, down to 56 kilos for Mick Price. I suppose the only query is down the straight. It's $1.60 out to $1.80.
He's won 2 races by 6 and 5.5. The Caulfield win was just emphatic. This other one will need to be pretty good to catch him.
Yeah, because he looks to going on the 3-year-old colt by Fastnet Rock out of a Moe maiden winner over 2,000 metres.
Well, looks department no mover here is number 4, We're Gonna Rock. And there's just so much interest in him.
Look at them. Oh, Marconi versus We're Gonna Rock.
Yeah, Marconi has lost condition or not back with him. Fast away Winter King and the filly Tarix going smartly. Marconi has the rail in front of Winter King. Tarix is going to drop in for the trail. 2 lengths away, Bohannon, and We're Gonna Rock just a little bit lost in the early stages. He's 2 lengths away, last beaten for speed. Heading up to the 600 metres mark in the Sydney Cider. Winter King moved up on the inside or the outside of the favourite Marconi, and they're striding away by 2 lengths on Tarix and then 2 lengths to Bohannon. And 2.5 away, We're Gonna Rock. He's off the bit and is trying to get mobile down to the 400 metres mark. Maskeel nursing on Marconi. Winter King's there with him. Then We're Gonna Rock 2 lengths away, starting to come home very, very strongly. He'll have to go Marconi. Winter King's almost got him. We're Gonna Rock's got the lot of them. We're Gonna Rock on the outside, moving up to Marconi, coming home the better. We're Gonna Rock takes the lead, and that's pretty impressive. We're Gonna Rock by a length on Marconi. Winter King third from Tarix, and Bohannon last in.
Wow. What a run. What a debut. Number 4, We're Gonna Rock. Michael Rod, Mark Kavanagh have got another very good colt on their hands. Wow, that was some debut. Yeah, he's not a bad horse. About 600 out when he was standing Marconi about 6-7 lengths. Were you concerned? Believe it or not, no. He's not a bad horse, this horse. So you've obviously had a few jump outs. The dam did win a Moe maiden over 2,000 metres. So the breeding's the other one, and then ease him up. You know, he might be a guinea horse in the autumn. Okay, Australian guineas up
in the week. Will bang, crash, wallop. Away we go. 410, 340 to 440 to 350 on track. Spinny 14 to 16. Lynch in the cap. $21 Taggers. Palacio to Crystal's been well back. 8 into 7 and Adnicon Villiers stakes. And there is Rockwood. $7 out to $8. Parfumier. 850 to 950. Rags Trinders 9 out to 11. Taggers 20 out to 26. And Palacio to Crystal 8 into 650. Very well supported. Adnicon at 4.
All clear given. They're about to get underway. And they're off and racing, and Palacio de Crystal was the last out of the stalls. Rockwood jumped out fast and went to the lead. There goes Rags to Riches across from a wide alley to take up the running. Rabuka's in behind them shortly after the start. Tag Us a little bit wide. Our Lucas going up in the middle, the 4th. And over on the fences, Spinny starting to pick up some ground. And then came Parfumia. Parfumia followed by Love and Kisses Offender. It's a long way back. So too is Hairy Lyceum Academy. And Palacio de Crystal is whipping them in the Villiers. They've got 500 to run, and Rags to Riches trying to lead all the way, led from Rockwood, who's getting closer on the outside. Rabuka is third. He's starting to come up 3 wide, then Spinny, and further back behind them next Adnicon. Wider out on the track, Tag Us, and Palacio de Crystal's coming right down the outside. Rockwood raced up to Rags to Riches. Rabuka's a length away. He's flat at the moment, trying to reach them. Palacio de Crystal and Parfumia is getting a run in the centre. It's Parfumia going to the lead. Palacio de Crystal comes at it on the outside. They run to the line. Palacio de Crystal has won the Villiers. She came from last to get the money and beat Parfumia. Third might be Spinny in front of Rabuka. And then came Rockwood, followed by Lyceum Academy, Al Lucas and Harry from Rags to Riches and Tagus. And then
Quinella to Jerry Harvey, 12.52. Palacio to Crystal, Peter Wells, $5.90 and $2.40. 5 Parfumier, $2. Also Rabuka, they chased the hot speed and they were sitting shot. And Parfumier, the big drop in the weight, and she's got the bickies this afternoon. He wins the English Villiers, 12 Palacio to Crystal, Peter Wells, she was last out of the gates. It didn't. I think the key to her, is first. She was too good.
Valuable man now, a Group 2 winner by Costa from a Group 1 winner. She's worth a bit of money now, and she's a Group 2 winner. Palacio de Crystal, big performance, a score in the Villiers, a neck by
shot all the rage.
For the feature race from Ascot this afternoon, the running of the Perth Cup, 2,400 metres the journey, Ransom 380 on the tote. Newport behind him there, the grey, I said before, he looks an absolute treat. Obviously, you've got to take, as we saw in that replay, hit the line strongly. I still think the barrier will be the key to this horse this afternoon. He's a different horse when he can get up out as 13 and 14 in the market. Marcus Maximus at
Gone off. Reid up as the starter said go, and he missed the kick by about 4 lengths. New Spice had won the start. Lord's Ransom got out quickly. Star Encounter. Nolan's going to send Marcus Maximus forward, and coming over now is Sentenza, and he might be the one that takes up the role of pacemaker. Fryer's Touch settling over on the outside. On the fence, Newport going through from Lambton. Sentenza's had it all his own way. Through the first half in the cup to the riverside of the course they go. Sentenza leading by a length and a half. Marcus Maximus. And here comes a move from Great Destiny. At the 1,000, Great Destiny's gone up and gone to the lead from Sentenza, Marcus Maximus and New Spice. On the fence, Lord's Ransom. Then Fryer's Touch in behind them, Star Encounter. Right Thong's going up okay at the 800. Newport badly held up on the inside, though, from Lambton Castle. Then Largo Lad. Gondorf's going to need luck. Le Bonjour well back with Marchien and had to be Clorker. And last of all, Geyser Peak. Great Destiny, 600 metres to go in the cup, leading a long neck. Marcus Maximus and New Spice. On the inside, Sentenza fourth. Then came Lord's Ransom. He's in fifth place, the favourite at the 400. Outside of him, Fryer's Touch, Right Thong, Star Encounter, waiting for the run to come on the inside. Gondorf, but they turned for home, and Marcus Maximus and Great Destiny levelled out together from New Spice. Lord's Ransom, though, putting in the big strides. On the fence, Sentenza had to be Clorker threading its way through. And here comes Marchien. She's mowing them down. Lord's Ransom in front. The stablemate closing Marchien, but Lord's Ransom wins the cup. It's Lord's Ransom by a neck to Marchien. Durant Quinella, the cup of 210. In behind them, Gondorf, Largo Lad, Camera there for third with New Spice, Marcus. Number 3, Lord's Ransom, has given Adam Durant and Alan Kennedy their first wins in the BMW Perth Cup. Got the third for the owners, Bob and Sandra Peters. And it caps a magnificent day for Kennedy, who's now just booted home the fourth leg of the quartet. Marchien second, trained by Adam Durant. He's produced the Quinella, 230.61 in and almost the BMW Perth Cup for 2010. It is Lord's Ransom. 9 wins from 18 starts. Second, the gallant mare Marchien, Pete Devitt, El Gordon, SD Arjun by a length and a half and a no.
The Group 1 Zabeel Classic is on. Let's pick up the action from New Zealand.
Halfback Von Romanet's next from Awesome Planet. Getting back in the field, Teller the back by the 4 to last, 850 metres out. And the Group 1 Zabeel Classic, and it's Mandela the leader. For Vinnie Colgan, he's over raced. He leads by 2 lengths. Culminate gets the run in second spot. Lying third, Gingadoo. Red Ruler travels well. He's had a lovely run. So has Extreme in fifth spot. Von Romanet poking up on the inside of Extreme. Then Awesome Planet, Tail back fourth last. Veloce Bella, Ever Bright, Monaco Consul. He's got the job in front of him, and last of all is Time Supreme. Homeward bound they are, 350 to go. The leader Mandela tackled by Culminate. Here comes Red Ruler, ambling up alongside of them. Look at Von Romanet coming through, 1 off the rail. 2 away, Tail, and then Veloce Bella. It's Von Romanet, the Celt Capital winner, hit the lead at the 100 metres. Shot away a length and a half on Red Ruler, then Tail and Culminate. But Von Romanet and Matty Cameron, they're home in the Zabeel Classic. Von Romanet, a brilliant winner. Second over Red Ruler. Third at the line was Tail, then followed in behind them next is Enders.
Von Romanet at huge odds wins the Zabeel at Ellerslie. Didn't win like a $26.30 chance or a 34 or 38. He romped in. Von Romanet wins the big one in New Zealand. Let's go to Richard.
As well, 26.30 and 6.20. Didn't just win, it smashed them just then. Red Ruler loomed up, thought he was the one, just Tail was third, 3.30.
In Reid Gold Trail is representing Australia for Gary Portelli. There's a Mufasa. We just caught sight of him on screen a minute away from start time. He's at $6 already, a Group 1 winner. A Gold Trail at $5.90. Then you get further down, Ruud van Sluts at $10. And we'll flick over the page and we'll find you the favourite. Beautiful Girl is the favourite at $4.90.
Yeah, that'll be super. We'll be out. There's Killers.
Bring it on. Gates open. They're off and racing. And she bounced beautifully. Beautiful girl. Going after it on the inside, Mufasa. Jazzella is right there. And there's Richard Bamer. There's the Aussie. A Gold Trail showing a torrent of early speed. Will take the lead on top of the rise. 1,000 out. Killaton settles third. And Mufasa now fourth. Beautiful girl restrained back to be fifth. Alongside of her, Jazzella. Then a length away next up. Feel for the Blandford Lodge Railway. Come inside the 600 metres and the Gold Trail, the leader. A length and a half on Killaton. Jazzella third on the outside of Richard Bamer. Mufasa's next. Then Beautiful Girl on the inside of Ruud van Slats. Further back, Bolgan Bar Stupendous. Then the Chunkster well back in the field. Is a Tarpey, Snips a Gold, Pinsoir and Ocado. Homeward bound they are. 350 to go. The Aussies in front. A Gold Trail by a length and a half from Richard Bamer. Killaton out wide. A Tarpey starting to stretch, and so too is Jazzella. It's a Gold Trail at the 150. Hard to catch. A Tarpey's trying hard on the outside. The two Aussie jockeys are going to fight it out. A Gold Trail. A Tarpey flew. Just missed. Another big race win here at Ellerslie for Michael Rod. A Gold Trail has beaten a Tarpey third. Oh, it's anybody's guess here. Third, there's a whole heap of them in a line. We had possibly Killaton with also Beautiful Girl, Richard Bamer, Ocado, Jazz Arroway was Ruud van Slats, Snipsy Gold and Mufasa. And back towards the rear was the Chunkster.
A good result for the Aussie boys. A Gold Trail, Michael Rod beating a Tarpey with Huey Bowman almost getting there, but well done, Gary Portelli. Of course, Gold Trail, as we know him here in Australia. A Gold Trail over there in New Zealand takes out the Group 1, the Railway Stakes there. So congratulations.
And Prince Brayman. So the revised bookies market.
At Ellerslie in New Zealand, the Auckland Cup, 2,400 metres it is now, the Group 2. And you can see as far as the betting, Red Ruler, 320, Sterling Prince at $16. And further down, all double figure.
Gates open, they're off and racing in the Stella Artois City of Auckland Cup. One of the first away was Crossroads towards around, and O'Reilly Rose is last. Here they come. And the Stella Artois Auckland Cup and take us out the City of Auckland Cup. And the leader is now Red Ruler from off and on. Coming after the Mandela. Faz is starting to warm up as well. And behind these Crossroads, our wider Minko Kaiman, Tin Goose, but Red Ruler at the 150. Duplessis went for gold. Shot away 2 lengths. Fazas trying hard. Running on out wide here. Man on a mission and spin around, but shut the gate. They won't get Red Ruler. He's home in the Stella Artois City of Auckland Cup. Second over was Fazar. Third at the line, then Man on a Mission, I reckon, ahead of Crossroads. Then Minko Kime, Tin Goose. Out wide a spin around, then off and on. Back up was next. Back up was next.
350 to 310. Down the board, Double Jack at $15. We keep going down. Latin News is at $15. Graceful Anna, $5.50. Deer Valley, $7. Tell us down the number 14. So at the moment, big go. Love Conquers All in the 3-year-old Magic Millions. The next race up after Rambik.
Been very, very firm. 460 into 420. Schwa Star at $13. Love Conquers All, 350 into 310, back to 320. Plumber for him. Graceful Anna, 550 out to 6. Deer Valley, $6 out to $7. Did hit 750 at one star.
Gates open and they're off and racing, and Graceful Anna pinged out of the gates. It was the first to go. Deer Valley went straight back to last, and Shootout's going to settle about 6th. When they settle fully into stride, good speed early. It's Femina Fashion going through to a narrow leader. Doubtful Jack on the inside with Graceful Anna, and they're vying for the lead. Love Conquers All just off the speed into a good spot. Is Fantastic Blue, Emma's Heart, and Deer Valley is last of all. Down by the 650, Femina Fashion and Nectar Graceful Anna. Templar Boom third. Doubtful Jack is fourth, and there goes Shootout up quickly on the outside, and Love Conquers All's in the middle. They're followed then by Princess Qualo. Choice Star Tello is next. Further back is Spot on Target, and a long way back Kane, Captain Sonador, and Deer Valley's a mile back. Graceful Anna went to the front, 300 metres to go. From Templar Boom, Love Conquers All's going through in the middle. Shootouts under the whip, and here's Tello coming down the middle of the track. It's Graceful Anna in front inside the 200. Love Conquers All and Tello coming after Graceful Anna. Graceful Anna the leader. Tello on the outsides coming after it with Love Conquers All. The three of them are coming to the line. Graceful Anna has just beaten either Love Conquers All or Tello. Latin News might be fourth in front of Shootout. Captain Sonador, followed by Doubtful Jack, Femina Fashion, Choice Star, Full Heart, Spot on Target, Emma's Heart, and Princess Qualo.
Well, what a great story this is. Peter Rabel, David Pfeiffer, and she's done it again. Graceful Anna in front there to be run down, but she held on $5.90 and $2.30 from Love Conquers All and Tallow. Tallow loomed to win on the outside. Tallow looked like it was going to get to the winner, but the winner just kept on giving $30 and 30 cents. They're moving into the gate. Well, please call. Here's Greg.
Yeah, the feature race of the afternoon is the 2-year-old Magic Millions there at the Gold Coast. Bright Expectations, 12s into 11s. We've got numbers 2 and 3, both at $61. Spirit of Boom, $5.50 on course. Marking Time, $14. Ebony Rock at $26. So it's a roughie there. We've got Military Rose, well supported, $5 into $4.60. 100 to 1, number 10, Tough Luck. Triple Crown, 15s out to 16s. Demanding Miss, $9. Amber's Waltz, the early favourite, $5.50 out to $6.
Back the $2 million Magic Millions. Terrific race coming up here. Someone's going to get all their money back and have money for the sales over the rest of the Magic Millions Carnival. On track, Bright Expectations, $11 out to 12, but had his 6 Military Rose, $5 into $4.60. Tough Luck, 90 to 1 to 100 to 1. Triple.
Bit of money for Marking Time, but from the alley, Military Rose, you would think, will get probably the best run in the race. Marking Time to the inside was one of the first to go. Military Rose began brilliantly and Wandering Stars going fast. And Jansen's coming over from a wide barrier to the first corner and Wandering Star, the leader, and next to Military Rose. Jansen goes to third. They're followed by Bright Expectations, Triple Crown, Marking Time on the inside from Red Belly Black. They're followed then by Amber's Waltz improving. Monday Gully's out deep on the track, and they're followed by Extreme Mover. Then Demanding Miss. Ebony Rock's back on the fence from Starts Me Up and Tough Luck. Ring-a-ring-a Rosie and Spirit of Boom is last. They're on the bend, 500 metres to go, and Military Rose has dashed away at the top of the straight. 3 Jansen, Wandering Star, Marking Time, Red Belly Black. Then Bright Expectations and Ebony Rock is next from Monday Gully. But it's Military Rose at the 300 metres mark at 3 in front. Marking Time in second spot. Bright Expectations, Jansen still there, and Amber's Waltz coming down the outside. But Military Rose is a mile in front at the 100, led by about 4. Millions is all over. Amber Waltz running into second position, but Military Rose is giving them a bath. Military Rose by 4. Amber Waltz second, tight for third. Ebony Rock with Demanding Miss from Starts Me Up. Monday Gully, Jansen, Tough Luck. Red Belly Black, Bright Expectations, Ring-a-ring-a Rosie, Marking Time, Extreme Mover, Wandering Star, Triple Crown, and last home in the race is Spirit of Boom. That's one of the biggest millions I've ever seen. Military Rose has given them an absolute caning. Starthy Katsitas for Gillian Heinrich. What a performance.
The great father, the mighty General Nadim, with a big win. Well done to Gillian and Hoss Heinrich, the Gold Coast crew. There's Hoss left and Gillian on the right and downs in racing, but no one's ever doubted his riding skills, Shane Templeton.
Oh, no, he's a darn good rider. And he had the money a long, long way from home, particularly when that speed.
Military Rose, the favourite over Amber's Waltz and Demanding Miss. And, of course,
with this filly than other 2-year-olds you've had in the stable?
Well, unfortunately, the other 2-year-olds, like they win one race, you go on to the next one and they get beat or they go shinsaw. She just continued the whole way through without any hiccups. She just goes from one race to the other to the other. As you saw how versatile she was, she won the 1,000-metre race leading the 1,200-metre race, the start before the Magic Million, a little bit slow away and got back and still run them over. And so, when they're versatile like that, there's always a chance of winning a good race like that.
If your Golden Slipper class?
Well, what can I say? She's won 4 out of 4. She's done everything right. At least she deserves her chance at the Golden Slipper.
She was
yesterday. He said as soon as...
that's got to be probably one of the biggest Magic Millions wins in history. I mean, and it's funny, she's by General Nadim, and he was just authoritative the year he won. And you got to go back to horses like Testarossa. I mean, we're talking General Nadim Testarossa-like performances. And I can't...
Anyway, so look, she's top draw. She's top draw. You can't say really much about the beaten brigade. Demanding Miss did okay.
Telegraph coming.
Telegraph handicap, not too far away. What's happening with...
was on the plane, Loterio, and I think he said to me, I think it's going to be having a barrier trial next week or so. There's the market for the Group 1 Oak Stud Telegraph out of New Zealand, a gold trail of course, representing Australia, Gary Portelli, Michael.
Racing now.
And getting back just a little there was Attack Him. Going back as well was Tootsie in the early part of the race. Rude Van Slat's out wide. De Los Angeles and Copaline burning early in a Gold Trail goes with these runners. Just in behind them with Kiloton, Venusti, and Tootsie's the last one. Copaline at the 600 metres. A Gold Trail didn't lead, sits second, and then we have De Los Angeles. Rude Van Slat's out a bit deeper. Tavistock back in behind these as they swing the corner, and then we've got Mufasa Veloz out wide, a Kiloton, and behind these Kino as they run on down here, and Wealth Princess a long way back. Copaline hard up against the aluminium is the leader now, and a couple of lengths in front. From out wide, Mufasa starting to put in. Stupendous, Venusti, Kiloton, Kino getting through, and Tootsie now starting to put in as well. Right across the track, Venusti out may have got to the lead from Stupendous. Tootsie flying, Kiloton the inside. Finish. See and Harris buried them. Maybe Tootsie, Stupendous, Wealth Princess behind them. Kiloton, Wall Street. Then the next Mufasa, Copaline. And a Gold Trail, unfortunately, at the back of the field.
No luck there for a Gold Trail this time, but Venusti is the winner. Dominant there out wide, taking out the Telegraph Handicap. The Oak Stud Telegraph Handicap at Trentham in New Zealand. Good win for Noel Harris there in the Group 1. The Oak Stud, well, we'll show you some yearlings from the Oak Stud. The fourth.
There's a stud up in the hinterlands, just above the Sunshine Coast, by the name of Craig Lee Stud. And they have a lot of horses going around with the name of Craig Lee. Well, there was a race up at Mackay during the week, race 1, in fact, and there was just more than a couple of Craig Lees.
Smoky Craigley Gal, followed well back by Craigley Edge and Willie next last. They swing into the stretch and it's Craigley Royale. The jockey was cheeky enough to look over his shoulder. He skipped clear. He's nicely clear, Kelvin. But on the outside, Craigley Tina's making a little bit of a run. Craigley Matilda's there. And down the outside, Craigley Rory. But the right Craigley's being backed at Mackay. There's Craigley left, right and centre. But Craigley Royale wins it easily from Craigley Matilda. Third, Craigley Gal. Fourth was Craigley Edge, followed by Craigley Tina. Then came Craigley Smoky, Craigley Rory, and Willie Nick. I think you'll find he's last. It's going to be a photo for last, and the Craigleys might have run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Well, that was fun.
Certainly was. It would have been a nightmare for the toilet. Well done to you. But if you wouldn't want the floats to break down, would you?
No, just
maybe one runner. Oh, the Craig Lees. New Zealand yesterday, the Thorndon Mile. This is a Group 1 level, the Thorndon Mile, won by Wall Street, and the Wellington Tuppet, the Group 2 level. And Red Ruler's in rare form. Back with more in a moment.
Wall Street give it his chance out wide. Tavistock tracking him home, and Mildaki. What a horse race. Wall Street over the outsides, ranged up and hit the lead now. Wall Street a length in front. Mildaki comes after him. As soon here does Tavistock and Tail. Wall Street. They can't get the flying Wall Street. He's got the first one's horse. And Street's done it. Yeah. Red Rider in the middle starting to put in. We've got Man on Mission on the outside, the leader. Jedak. Red Rider in the middle now starting to finish quickly. Next mission, Red Rockets coming up the grid. Just getting the Jedak. Red right at the inside. It's a famous gun and Red. Very good.
Offered $7 she'll go through unbeaten. So just roll this around. $1.40
You're getting a leg
into
up
the
tonight.
William Reid, and she's $5 now for the Newmarket. If she wins tonight, don't it'll be a huge slash in price because you're
to that in the Newmarket, or is she going to be more of a Coolmore?
The Coolmore's probably the grand final, but we might talk to Peter when he can get him in the chair here and find out where she's heading.
And Black Caviar's out to $1.50 from $1.40. Here the Angels back into $3. Let's go to the mounting. I had a good look at her when she came into the mounting yard. She's got the head down. She seems very relaxed. As you would expect, she's not nearly fully wound up, but she looks in really good order. Peter Moody walking around with Luke Nolan. She's unbeaten. She's won here. She's beaten them pretty convincingly in all of her runs to date. And this is her first big step up as a 3-year-old filly at weight for age.
Wouldn't he look well, Rocket too, when just walking past the streets?
Would you like to have something on him?
Hey, no, not really. No, pass.
Okay, the favourites out to $1.60. Here the Angels into $2.90. An intriguing race to call the action for
Buzz about the track tonight. There's no doubt about that when you get a great racehorse coming out under lights like Black Caviar. The filly racing at the 1,200 metres. A beautiful start. Here the Angels the first to show. Black Caviar goes with him. And as expected, they settle down 1-2. 2 lengths away in 3 wide as the field comes up the side. 650 metres left to go now. Hitty Angels at a steady tempo, led by a half Black Caviar. Cantonese outside. Royal Ida 3 deep, the trip. La Rocket's on the fence. Ferocia is last. Hitty Angels has it by a half Black Caviar. Neither riders asked for the big run yet. La Rocket in behind them. Royal Ida niggled fourth. Last Ferocia. Now Black Caviar's let go by Nolan. And she quickly raced up to Hitty Angels. Got almost length in front of him. Sprinted away around the home turn. Then came La Rocket and Royal Ida. Caviar by 2 lengths. Hitty Angels can't answer this super filly who races away to make it 5 out of 5. What a step. Black Caviar, 2.5 Hitty Angels. La Rocket a length and 3/4 third. Royal Ida ran 4. Ferocia last in.
She's got out to $1.70 on track. I don't think anyone would have believed that. And you heard Peter Moody. She has got whips and whips of improvement left in her. She was a grade above. Here the Angels tried to go with her. He set it up for a sprint home. He didn't try to test Black Caviar. He rolled with Black Caviar. It was a race in 2 and then turf. It was all over on the bend.
Yeah, 2.5 lengths the finishing margin, Terry, and she's done it very, very comfortably as well. And as you mentioned, she's got improvement in her. Is a good sprinter here, the Angels, but this is all class. I know there's no depth in the straight there, Terry, but she finds 2 or 3 lengths improvement at her next start. And she's going to do that. William Reid. She's going to go around even money. That $7 is now looking pretty handy because you might end up going around $7 in the new market.
Yeah, no, she's got a little return, and we thought she was going terrific, but until you get them back on track, you're never sort of 100% sure, are you? Well, they all tell me the percentages, but you just know such a big race filly like her's just got to improve. So, the next thing will be getting to the stables at 4 in the morning and watching her walk out.
You put in the same breath as talking about General Nadine, but you've done that pretty early in her career.
Well, she's just so brilliant, and that's brings about these issues with these muscles. She just she's got such acceleration and does everything in such a robust manner. And being such a big horse, she makes herself susceptible to these injuries.
William Reid, Newmarket, is that it for this preparation?
Oh, no, I wouldn't say not. There's some chance I might give her a vaccination tomorrow for Dubai. That $2.5 million race on dirt, that might be a challenge. But let's come back for the William Reid in 3 weeks. And if she could do the same again, we might start looking at options.
And that fabulous combination, Bella Spree is the sire.
Is deserved of all the euphoria that's around at the moment, because Here to Angels is no slouch. In my view, he is a genuine Group 2 horse. And, she beat him with relative ease over the concluding stages, not knocked around at all. I tell you what, the world is her oyster. And the thing that I really like about it, he seems to be focused on what he's doing, eliminating the Lightning, the Newmarket. Hey, the William Reid, we're on track.
Yeah, look, what a filly. She's got that unique ability to have a high cruising speed and relax at the same time to conserve energy. And when she accelerates, she puts paid to opposition. She reminds me of, fillies like, Miss Andretti and Alingi and even Special, the great Special. And look, she's right up there with them fillies, in my opinion.
To go. Chance by in front. Has it got a kick? Leads by 2 lengths. Celestial Charger. I Love This City down the outside, followed by Spot the Rock and third man. Chance by at the 200 metres. Leads by 2.5. I Love This City trying hard, but Chance by in front. Kembla rolls again. 3 lengths in front of I Love This City. And the horse that dreams are made of wins again. Chance by 3. I Love This City. Third.
Well summed up there in the call by Matthew Hill. Great call. And Chance by, wow. Michael Tubman at Kembla Grange and Kathy O'Hara aboard. I Love the City second and Spot the Rock third. And Kathy O'Hara there in the call by Matthew Hill. Great call and Chance by, wow. Michael Tubman at Kembla Grange and Kathy O'Hara aboard. I Love the City second and Spot the Rock. Paid for this at the Classic sale last year. These are, as Matt said, these are what dreams are made of in racing. They're fabulous stories.
Oh, for sure. Look, we've got the English Classic sale starting today, and they picked her up for 15,000. Obviously, for 15,000, she made.
We're about to see the previews here in Melbourne for races 2 and 3. The Carlton Geldings come up and Song staying event there. Missed 2 days in the stable, but Robbie Lang confident that she's right to go. But that's the update on She's Got Gears, who runs in the fillies. When action here is Pelazzotti, 6 into 5, back to 6. LOLO, 7 into 7, out to 7.5, back to 7. Innocent Gamble. 550 freely offered right now. Tote favourite though is Song Spirit 350, and is number one pick there and on the tote and in the ring. So
Achievement's just a little slow, and Star Demon quite slow settling at the end, and Innocent Gamble the first out ahead of Rampart, and also beginning fast in the early stages. Achievements, and there's Mama driving up on the inside, so lengths away. It's Mama leading from Innocent Gamble by a neck coming around the home turn. 2 lengths to Songspur ridden along on the inside, and then Achievements. Hello making ground from Rampart, and then Pelazzotti. Mama skipped a length and a half in front early in the straight from Innocent Gamble. Songspur. Hello making ground. Achievements boxing on only, and then Pelazzotti. Mama in front. Innocent Gamble coming at it hard on the outside now, and Pelazzotti flying. Innocent Gamble got to the lead near the line though, and Innocent Gamble a good winning debut from Mama. Close third Songspur the rail. Pelazzotti wide, and then Hello Rampart. Trailed in by Achievements.
He came here pretty well educated. You're able to take him to sale. There's a trip away from the stables, obviously.
Well, Mark Riley post-race saying this is the best horse he has dealt with. Did a good job on debut for Riley, who's not locked into that horse in the Blue Diamond. We're talking Sweet Cheeks, he told us earlier. Away from.
I thought it was a good win for a horse that seemed to do plenty wrong, Steve.
Was a good win. Something of a bunched finish, which would just cast a little doubt over that form for me.
Talk more about that. So on course, $5 She's Got Gears, 4 roulettes, 460 Shahik, 8 Crystal Lily, 8. And we're down to, they get into the yard here. Starting those with most of these that compete today. I mean,
absolutely. Now the word is coming through that this qualifies Crystal Lily. Apparently it's been really well tried out there.
$10 yesterday, 6 today, 8 official fluck, top fluck, 8 into 6 about Crystal Lily.
And down they're off and racing. Crystal Lily jumping brilliantly down on the inside. She's Got Gears dawdling out and settles at the end. Away fast in the early part is Warm Love up there, second on the outside of Crystal Lily. Nova spin by placement. Behind these 2 lengths away, Space Diva, Symbol second last. And last is Magic of Emma. Coming around the turn now, Crystal Lily in front, Warm Love running second, Nova Spirit deeper out, Koala Bear waiting on a run, Shahek behind them, Roulettes has pulled out, and the rest headed by She's Got Gears, Crystal Lily with a nice kick led by 2 lengths, Koala Bear the inside, Warm Love, then Shahek and Roulettes, but it's Crystal Lily who's been well supported, leading by 3. She's run them off their legs, she'll bolt in. Crystal Lily eased up 2.5, Shahek, Warm Love held third. Close for fourth, the Roulette's Koala Bear, and She's Got Gears out wider. Then came
56.84 compares most impressively to the boys' time, which was 57.5, and that was won by an on-pacer. This was won by an on-pacer who was quick and extended. Impressive.
Sporting. She drew one and played up in the gates a bit and had my heart and mouth for a minute there, but thankfully she got there and, oh well, onwards and upwards with her.
Is that a bit of her though?
She obviously come on from the spring, which always is a positive side. Shahik was excellent. A couple of other runs here. She's Got Gears. Little
She was absolutely fantastic. I think she's clearly the horse to beat in the Blue Diamond. That tiny reservation that most Blue Diamonds these days are won by run-on 2-year-olds, not on paces. But that's the most impressive 2-year-old performance in Melbourne this season.
Yeah, I think she went good. I think the second horse was nice too. I thought she'll appreciate, like, say, 6 furlongs, a bit more pressure. But
I can tell you that Crystal Lily's in the second favourite from 26 into 9, and Beneteau and Innocent Gamble, the other winners today, have been 20s into 12s. More on that market shortly in Brisbane. And now favourite here is 3 or lower, 210 out to 225. Set for Fame was backed yesterday, 3.8 to 3.30, 360 on the tape.
30. Plenty of action also yesterday and this morning. It's our sporting bet market mover and a clear-cut favourite here. Number 3, Aloha. Set for Fame has gone from 3 out to 3.50 now. And
racing, My Emotion jumping reasonably from a middle gate. Aloha got away nicely. Dystopia, one of the first to show. And there's Set for Fame bursting through along the inside to run to the lead. So Set for Fame leads by rail. Haven't run it all that hard coming down towards the turn. Set for Fame by Neck Dystopia. Jolly Breeze has been out wide. Aloha waiting for somewhere to go. Morosi dropped off and My Emotion starts a run. Set for Fame leads narrowly from Dystopia. Aloha searching for a run. There's a little gap. Ollie's going for it inside. 200 metres to go now. Set for Fame narrowly. Dystopia is going with her. Aloha can't pick them up. Set for Fame with a turn of acceleration. Race clear the last little bit. And Set for Fame bolted in. That's brilliant from Aloha. Dystopia third. My Emotion got home for fourth. And then a break. She's run some time. 1:8.66. Dominated from the front.
she's always been in our top echelon, and unfortunately she had that bleeding attack in the spring, and but thankfully there's been no issue of it as I have a look at that. But you know, I haven't hidden the fact she's probably the only horse in the yard I've been able to train with Black Caviar, and they did all their early preparation together, and they both kicked.
But she did that, and then she quickened. That's the sign of a very good filly who had that enforced break bleeding in the spring. But owned by someone who won a share in a newspaper maiden race at Seymour, which Tollisbury won, beat Carrara and Aloha, lost it on protest. She's only would have maiden in Victoria, isn't it?
Certainly, she was terrific, wasn't she? Peter Moody's, I think, often said that this one's about the only one he can work with Black Caviar, and he had her problems in the spring, but she's obviously come back extremely well.
Had to like her, Rich.
Turn Edmund and Carrara $5. There's Big Roscoe returning. Bruce will be chatting with him in a moment. Denman $1.70. Super Tab has firmed up. It's eased out from his right. He looked good enough last time. Australian flag finally saluted here today.
We copped the tip, Raphael. Just one verse will do us because they
moved along and they're set to go. All set for Zepnev, and the gates are back and they're off and racing. Most immediate jumping just reasonably down on the inside. Denman jumped away nicely and he's going through to run to the lead early with Carrara on his outside. They settle to the two in front. Carrara leading from Denman and Carlton forwards on the inside. 500 left to go. Carrara narrowly from Carlton forward, and True Persuasion a length and a half away third, with Denman just waiting for an out on the inside, and they're 2 lengths the handsome one, Guru Bob. Carrara leading, Carlton forward narrowly. Denman boxed up with nowhere to go at the moment, with True Persuasion putting in a run on the outside. Carrara still had it, 250 to go from True Persuasion. Carlton forward dropping off Denman. He had to bump, he pushed, he's in the clear now. Carrara being tackled by Denman. Carrara kicking, but Denman claimed him with about 50 metres to go. Becomes trouble and wins. Denman from Carrara. Spacecraft rushes home and grabs third. Guru Bob ran forth a good effort. Then True Persuasion, most immediate start.
all class there. Denman, a few heart flutters up the straight. McAvoy just having to wait off heels, but just too good. And would you believe has run exactly the same time to the 10th of a second, 1:8.66. But there's a bit more slowly.
His first up and was heavily backed in doing so. $1.70 into $1.60, betting a good 3-year-old in Carrara Spacecraft. I think it'll be D. Oliver's Guineas ride. A very encouraging run there. They ran quick time all day, so the times were slick. Denman, we'll have a look at the Guineas market shortly. He's right there. What do you make of it, Steve?
Well, he was impressive. The winner, certainly. Carrara was solid. I think it doesn't demand a whole lot of analysis, this race, does it? What you see is pretty much what you get. Spacecraft was good.
Class, all of them. He's got real presence, the winner, hasn't he? He's got a real long-row about him, and look at him shoulder out here.
You love this horse, don't
he's you? He's the new people's champion. I think the pressure on him is enormous. The Australian Guineas Day is going to be an absolute ripper, and he's back. He's back big time. Good to see him in the Australian colours. Hopefully he stays in Australia.
I'd love to see him go out.
I think this third horse is a Derby horse. This Spacecraft, is it?
Yeah, on the fence.
He's a real stayer and a likely AJC Derby.
Yep. DA Hayes knocked most of us out of most things earlier with our Accoleme, and he's got extra zero. Running here, 280 at the 3 on course, same as Hayes Stakes. 40 pool, about the big 6.
And the starter caught them reasonably well with Italian Machine, the first one to show out. And he pinged out by about a length and a half, settling into stride. The favourite, Extra Zero, settles down midfield. So after Rowe, Crossley's got up on the inside of Rebel Truce to leave him at the tail. At the 600, swinging for home now. Iriset outside Italian Machine, and Costa Beliefs enjoyed a good trail. Then came Devil's Force in the red cap and Take the Rap on the outside. Extra Zero peels out wide for his run, followed by Crossley and Rebel Truce last out deep. Italian Machine from Iriset, 400 to go, and Costa Belief tackling them and running on as Take the Rap down the outside, and further back Extra Zero. He's starting to wind up, but he needs to get a burst on, nearing the 200, and Costa Belief narrowly. Take the Rap is coming at him, and Costa Belief by a neck, Take the Rap, and then came Extra Zero. Take the Rap trying to get to this leader. He's coming home the better, and he'd get up and win. Take the Rap grabbed in Costa Belief to score by about a long head. Extra Zero third, Italian Machine fourth, and then Iriset. Therefore,
straight today, Take the Rap in Costa Belief beat him.
How many people are now left in the big 6? That horse come up.
Costa Belief.
The 1400 at Flemington's a real on-pace paradise. And I thought Extra Zero's effort coming from the back was the run of the race. So I think he's the one.
Tello, 350 favourite on the tote and on the course, $3.10. Gee, that's tight enough, please. 650 speeding that lead down to Miss O'Brien, Misty Blue, $9.50 and $9. And $9 also about Salinas, Absolute Faith, 13 into 12. We'll get to the manning out shortly for the...
Here's the favourite going in now, Tello. Find in there Corey Brown, Miss O'Brien coming along. Pins on ice, getting set for Damien Oliver. Where's the white cap, red cap on the stablemate? Better be the one. Umatane jumping a little awkwardly down on the inside. Orbiting Bell, one of the first to show. Misty Blue slides through with Miss O'Brien, and they run to the lead early in the piece. Umatane is recovering, getting up on the inside in company there with Salinas now as they sort out their positions, and they cover about 2 in company as they sweep towards the turn there by Counter Pain back over on the inside. And back last as they sweep to the turn, Better Be the One. So the Vanities on the swing for home now. Misty Blue has the lead from Tello, who's been coasting on the outside. Pins on ice coming out 3 wide. Orbiting Bell deeper. Salinas looking for a run. Umatane right behind the front runner. It's Misty Blue at the 350. Tackled by Tello. They're 2 links on Pins on ice. Orbiting Bell. Absolute Faith is coming home. So Brian trying to thread through, and then came Counter Pain. Tello up level with Misty Blue with 150 metres to go. And they're 3 links on Orbiting Bell. Tello doing a little bit better than Misty Blue, who tries to fight back. Tello a shade too strong, and Drew Clear beat Misty Blue by 3/4, and Absolute Faith 3/4 away ran on for third. Then came Hold for Applause. Better Be the One.
Biggest go of the day here, landed some huge bets from yesterday at $5.50 into $3, into $2.80, into $2.60 the tote, and in the run, we're taking $1.60. Never going to get beaten. On pace domination here. Misty Blue, nothing seems to phase her too much.
I was just talking to Ross McDonald. He said they never win here unless they're first up. And I said,
including Hold for Applause.
Yep, certainly Hold for Applause and Speedy Natalie are probably the two that attracted most attention at the back. No pace again in this 3-year-old race. They skipped home in 34. And the first 4 home had all had a recent.
Archie winning twice, Mahogany winning twice. You got the big grey from the big red from South Australia, Redelva.
Oh yeah, what a marvellous sprinter he was.
Old Ace winning for Freeman, a great record. Then you get the 3-year-olds kicking in. This Catesta Rossa, those sorts of horses. Twice, of course, Regimental Gal, Fastnet Rock, and a good batch of 3-year-olds.
That's, of course, what Star Spangled Banner's looking to do, is a Testarossa.
Over the past 2 days, it's all revolved around Star Spangled Banner, who is back out to $4 on course. But none of these fluctuations are going to mean much to you right now, because if you like that, you got the $5 on Thursday, and your happy days. 350 at the 4 on course. Nakani's been 440 at the 5. Burdick Blues 440 at the 550. Put them in the yard with a Shane for Coolmore and
Truth. $81 into $51.
Speak for yourself, birthday boy. 81 to 51.
Now 41.
Yeah, okay, let's go. Here is the running of the Coolmore Lightning Stakes, and to call it Greg Miles.
Here's Headway coming up into the stalls now, so just the last 2 or 3 to get set. The Group 1 Coolmore. They're ready. Gates are back, they're away. Star Spangled Banner began okay from his barrier stall from Shell Scrape, and Burdick and Blues ridden along to go out early. Honest Truth began fast, and Wanted is in behind them as they settle down in the Lightning. And Burdick and Blues has the lead in the middle of the course, ahead of Seeking Attention immediately to his inside, and Honest Truth and the Yellow Cap close to the rail. In behind the leading trio then is Shell Scrape, the outside of Star Spangled Banner, followed by Wanted, and then came Cannonball. Governance on his outside, trailed by Dewporth, and then Headway towards the end of the field in company with Nakoni at the 5 or 350 metre mark, and Seeking Attention is headed off by Burdick and Blues out in the middle from Honest Truth. Star Spangled Banner's in the clear. Wanted is running on. Shell Scrape making ground. Dewporth on the far side. Wanted is raced up at the 200. Here's Star Spangled Banner coming at him. Headway Nakoni coming home. Wanted the leader with about 50 to go. Nakoni flashing home. Nakoni grabbing Wanted, and Nakoni got up to win. Beat Wanted in the last stride. Photo third between Shell Scrape and Star Spangled Banner. Headway from last, and then Dewporth, followed by Cannonball. Seeking Attention and Burdick and Blues, the 2 early leaders, folded up, followed in by Honest Truth and Governance back at the tail.
Ollie makes it 5 wins in the race. Nakoni comes off the back of Testarossa, Gold Ace, and of course the superstar sprinter is favourite Scalacci for 2 wins, and Nakoni
comes with a typical Oliver Time ride to beat Wanted and Star Spangled Banner. He looked great. He paraded well. He ran even better. Nakoni, is he now off to England? I think he will be for the King Stand Stakes. He was not a magnificent burst on him, this bloke. And he's now unbeaten at 1,000. 4 goes, 4 wins. And he's just a rocket. He really can lift at the end of a sprint race. Ollie times it to be ran right up to it.
Sort of undefeated fresh, and he put his best foot forward. I was always a little bit worried after the Patnack failure, losing his shoes, but it was a genuine excuse. And then to see him beat the best like that, you know, he's a weight for age, dual Group 1 winner now, so fantastic.
And of course, he's got the ticket to ride and travel abroad like that, and that hasn't been a problem for the Australians in the past, really.
Yeah, look, they have, and he's got a lovely temperament. And look, he's travelled from Adelaide to Melbourne and Melbourne to Sydney and Melbourne back to Adelaide. He's done a lot of travelling, so I'm not worried about him as long as he's got a companion.
I mean, he was pretty awesome today.
He was got a great turn of foot, Bruce. I switched him off early, and I commented to David. I thought this race is often won by the big finisher, the last one to go, and it's nice when a plan comes off.
It came off.
I'd love to see what he ran his last 600 because he peeled off some pretty quick sectionals, and you know he finished really full of running.
That's hard.
5 Group 1 wins in the race for jockey Damien Oliver, following on from Testarossa Gold Ace, and 2 on the mighty Scalacci. 2nd Group 1 for the horse Nakoni, beating Wanted and Shell Scrape. And Damien, you said post-race, he ran the last 600 and it was 32.11, but 11.02 the last furlong. That's low flying, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. And I think he was just really hitting his peak on the line. He hadn't, you know, a lot of horses sort of flattened out the last 200, but he felt like he was hitting top speed near the line. So he really did hit the line strong.
You and he make that look easy, but it's all
Great and Star Spangled Banner. Were you surprised how far Wanted was in front of you, like with 100 to go?
Yeah, I was, you know, thinking, you don't get much time to think in a race like that, but thinking, oh, well, I hope I haven't left it too late, because actually, I did one year on Scalacci. He should have won 3, and I missed the boat a bit on him. But you know, that's the punt you take, and I thought I was doing the right thing by the horse to let him finish off strong, and it worked out well.
Obviously, he's a top-class sprinter. This is where the acceleration kicks in here, Damien. I mean, do you feel that horse will lift for you when he gets that clear?
Yeah, he hit the line full of running, and I think he was just hitting his peak speed in the last 200. And, you know, his fresh record is outstanding. I don't think he's been beaten first up at that sort of trip. And, you know, he just ran up to his absolute best yesterday.
Well, it's 4 hard to beat, I think. Star Spangled Banner, I think that he's effectively a 7 furlong horse, miler. I don't think yesterday's race was probably ever going to be his race. He wasn't brilliant first up in the spring, even though he managed to win.
You see the benchmark sprinter. Will he be going to Royal Ascot? He's on the list. He'll be riding in Black Caviar. Well, Peter Moody's not locked the filly into the new market. There's Nakoni at 11. Don't think that's the plan. Weekend Hustler, don't know. We've got Ross later. Typhoon Tracy, doubtful. Wanted Star Spangled Banner, yes, will be running. Avenue, maybe.
Nakoni, oh, what a withering burst was. Nakoni defeating Wanted and Shell Scrape. Could have been.
We probably just didn't know whether he was going to be as effective down the straight. But in saying that, pretty sure that Shane Scriven was on a mission there, pretty desperate out of the gates, and they did set up a pretty cracking pace down the straight, which probably suited a horse like Nakoni to get home. Thought Wanted was pretty good. Probably just spotted a bit of daylight a little bit early, and that was probably aided by the fact that they all raced off the fence and came down the middle to some degree. So he's very, very good against the older horses there. He's up to the best of the 3-year-olds, and I think you'll find that Peter Moody's
is very secure now, Nakoni. He's twice a Group 1 winner. He's got speed, he's got pedigree, and he beat up a vintage crop of 3-year-olds yesterday. There's no doubt about that. We're very strong in the 3-year-old department, and he obviously beat them up. I thought the second horse Wanted, well, his turn's not far off. His last 2 runs, he's second at Group 1 level. He certainly did a terrific job there, and he may have been presented a little bit too quickly in the lead, but that's only nitpicking. The boosters
we have our feature race here at Rosehill Gardens. It is the Group 2 Expressway Stakes, the weight for age race over the 1,200 metres, and the odds have just come back up. Now we can see Danley 330, just out to 340 as I'm speaking. 420, 440 into 420 for Rangi Rang Do.
8 hours.
Number 2 is Rangi Rang.
Moorfield
The top one's now out to $3.80. Did touch $3.90, of course, Dan Lee. Ringy Ring Do's $4.40 back to $4.20. Was Expressway Stakes, the Group 2 over 1,200. Let's go up to the best caller in the business.
Rangy Rangdu was the best out. Quickly, McClintock rushes up on the outside to take the lead away from Rangy Rangdu, and then came Centennial Park, followed by Dow Dow starting to creep up along the fence now to go to third, and going back to last of the five is Dan Lee. So the first bend at the halfway mark, and the leader McClintock getting his own way in front, leading by a length and a half on Rangy Rangdu. Then came Dow Dow, followed by Centennial Park, and Dan Lee is still at the back of the field. Clark's starting to get a little bit anxious on him now. He's starting to ride him along as they turn for home, where McClintock's had a soft lead. Rangy Rangdu starting to close in quickly on the outside. Rangy Rangdu raced up to McClintock. There's about a neck between them. They're clear from Centennial Park. Dow Dow's coming through over near the inside, and Dan Lee spots the leaders about 3 lengths. Rangy Rangdu raced up to McClintock. Then Dow Dow. Rangy Rangdu's got his head in front. He gets about a neck clear. Dow Dow's coming on the inside late, but Rangy Rangdu in front and wins it from Dow Dow. Third home McClintock, and then came in behind them Centennial Park, and last home was Dan Lee.
Rangy Rangdu takes out the Expressway Stakes for 2010 for Corey Brown and Chris Waller. The
said before the race, he's got the record at Moonee Valley over the mile, a track record on a good track. Today, his class got him through on the heavy track. The better track's going to be the better, probably he's going to be even better. That's exactly right. What about Dan Lee?
Tracy, he's a winner, 8 of 15. A Group 1 race certainly awaits him. Rangy Rangdu, the son of Pentai. Dow Dow, Rod Quinn lost his whip when Chrissy Muntz knocked it off his hand on McClintock.
In my opinion, he's still a Doncaster horse. I don't think he'll be harshly penalised. Looking at...
He said that the run of Dow Dow was pretty good too, Richie. He looked well above himself before the race. If you were putting a line through...
Cautious when you get a bunched finish with 5 runners. I'm saying this race is a better race than the Group 1 yesterday in Melbourne. This horse, Rangy Rangdu, I think the trip away in the spring is the making of this horse. He'll be competitive come, the Doncaster and any race that Chris Waller wants to put him in. He really looked a different horse yesterday. He was a slabby sort of a horse last prep. Obviously, he's had a shorter spell this time, and he's held a bit of muscle. So I'm looking forward to him. And saying that, I'm looking forward to a few others there. I reckon this Dow Dow is the best horse in Australia at a mile. I really think he's the best.
That's
horse.
a wrap.
Look, he's an outstanding horse.
I like him too.
He was the soft horse in the yard. He was the soft horse in the yard, and I reckon he was the horse that wasn't suited on
Wellington Stakes. There you go. It's just a little watch race, isn't it, really, for the punter? Shane, he's $4.20 ahead of So You Think. We're going to rock was $7 before last night. It would be 70 the way he went last night. Manhattan Rain at 50. Deadman 130, 120, and he's been $1.30 since the first markets open on this race.
Break the Habit taken out 145 on Vet's advice. So now they're right. They're ready. They're off now. And Denman jumps reasonably well on the outside. Carrara immediately out looking for the lead. Denman goes to his girth on the outside. The Handsome One retaining the rails about a length and a half away third as Denman puts his nose in front. They're followed by Most Immediate settling down in 4. It was a length away and 2 lengths to Chilled by Choice. So it's Denman in control of the race leading up the side of the course. He's a length and a half in front. Carrara second. Most Immediate now a length and a quarter away third at the 600. The Handsome One's on the rail. Sophrosity is second last and Chilled by Choice niggled out on the inside as last. Denman coming towards the home turn under a hold by 3/4 Carrara. Most Immediate coming on 3 wide. Sophrosity making ground on the outside as they corner. Denman rolls away from the fence. A couple of horses. He leads by a length and a half. He's in control of the race here at the moment. Carrara's under the whip second. Then Most Immediate and Sophrosity. But it's Denman now shaken up by McAvoy. Going clear by 3. And a lovely big fluent stride. Look at him go. He's a real superstar. Denman won it by 3 lengths. Perhaps a little more to Carrara. Most Immediate. Either Sophrosity or Chilled by Choice for the 4th. And trailing over on the inside at the end of the field going over was the Handsome One. It's as easy as it gets.
Absolutely. For those who took the $1.30, no issues at all for you. It was a procession, just strolled along in front. Carrara gets the obvious Quinella. Most of
terrific today. He didn't pull. He was just virtually in his own comfort zone. And when they presented to him like that, there's no way they're going to beat him.
It's another stepping stone towards the Guineas. I mean,
Carrara 160 held up there all right for the place.
He's got everything else measured here in Melbourne. We'll see. So you think at the trials next week. as you to him?
Well, not at the moment, and certainly not up to 1,400 metres. I know that his one previous attempt in the Caulfield Guineas was inconclusive because of the nature of the race that day and the fact that he was posted wide. I guess the reality is he's yet to win at a mile. Looking forward to the Guineas, looking forward to seeing So You Think returning.
And Manhattan Rain.
And Manhattan Rain. Carrara is racing like he wants further to me now. Most immediate's probably that's his level, and Sofrosny, I think.
Handy.
Yeah, Mark Sheen just said off there he's
Up and going and racing and winning. He's the dominant favourite. So we'll get the measure on So You Think in the next fortnight or so, but into $2.50 from $4.20 before yesterday. So You Think out to $5. We're going to $5. We're going to $5. We're going to rock. You can scrub that. He's gone to the paddock. We'll touch on him.
And it then did become a procession because they were never, ever going to have the ability to be able to sit back and run past this horse. He's the real deal. He's a brilliant horse. He's more imposing every time you see him. And Carrara's game, but I tell you what, this horse is a very, very good galloper.
There's no doubt about it. And I was so happy to see McAvoy have confidence in him and just say, no, I'm not playing into any tricks you blokes have got up your sleeve for me. I'm on the best horse here. Let's lead. You know, you're allowed to lead on good horses, and you make more leaders win than back markers. That horse has got an aura about him. He's got a... Remember Darren Beadman used to have Lon...
on pace too. I mean, you know, anything can... This is why I think yesterday's was his best win. I mean, I've seen him beat better fields, I think, but I haven't seen him win in better fashion. And the way he added that extra string to his bow, I can lead and I can quicken off the front. I think that says he's a versatile horse. He tracked beautifully straight in the straight. If you look at him in the head-on, never...
At the $3 on course and went up $2.70 on the tote for Ollie. So hence 2.8 on course, $23 for the Diamond Psychologist. Back this week, 5.15 to 6, but 25 to 1 for the Blue Diamond. Spirit Scent got beaten yesterday. It's a $51 chance. And they're about the fillies who are going around here.
Marginal at from 5 to 5.50. And a little bit of a long shot move for the debutante Sheila Star, 21 down to 17.
Sweet Cheeks jumps away nicely near the outside. Psychologist got away well with Sienna Gold, and they're going to the lead early, ahead of Melbourne getting up on the fence into third placing, and then Penapeak. Good turn of foot leading down the side by 2 lengths to Melbourne, 3/4 Sienna Gold, and Sheila Star fourth the rail. Half Penapeak, 2 lengths away then is Sweet Cheeks from She's Got Gears. And 2 lengths away is Gelsar as they near the corner. And it's the first starter Psychologist. Travelling pretty well around the home turn. A length in front of Melbourne. Sienna Gold on the outside and Penapeak pulled out. Sheila Star the rail. She's Got Cheeks. Sweet Cheeks has gone back to the inside trying to weave through. But Psychologist is going well. Past the 200. 2 lengths clear from Penapeak. Melbourne. She's Got Gears running on no Sweet Cheeks. But Psychologist, have a look at this for a debut. She's bolted in. Psychologist by 4 to She's Got Gears might get the second. Gelsar is with her on the outside making ground. Penapeak and Sheila Star over on the fence. Then Sweet Cheeks, second last Melbourne, and Sienna Gold is last. An awesome debut.
Absolutely, Greg. We have a new Blue Diamond player, a serious one at that, trots in class record time on debut, 1:2.67 overall time. Jumps, runs, controls, quickens. Nothing made ground. She's Got Gears came from back.
Well, I would have been going to a Seymour 2-year-old maiden if I didn't think it would win that. So
would have been hard to beat there. I would have thought she's run outstanding time.
That's why we scratched her from Kyneton last weekend. But I jumped on her on Tuesday and I just went, wow, that was enough for me to convince me to go this way.
She hasn't jumped out of the ground, has she? She's
getting better and better and better. So.
Was in the 5 in pre-post betting. We'll show the Blue Diamond market after that win. Made all the time on her own outstanding debut. Cost 120,000. Big day for the English progeny yesterday through both the Blue Diamond preludes. And well, she's got those covered on what we saw yesterday. You don't see them go to a Blue Diamond second up. We touched on Reduced Choice, but you've got to admire what you saw yesterday.
Yeah, certainly, Bruce. Well, he's the only horse to do it. Reduced Choice win a Blue Diamond at his second start, and he did it from one Saturday to the next. She was terrific yesterday, ran similar early splits to the Colts and was able to maintain it. If you had a reservation, I sometimes think the difference between an 1,100 metre 2-year-old lead-up race and the 1,200 metres of the Blue Diamond is as wide as the Grand Canyon. It's a big difference. Some of them do start to hit the wall with 50 metres to run, but there's no reason you would knock her on that performance.
Very good, wasn't she? She'd be...
or Jalsa was quite good from the back. I think it's got some sort of chance, and Peak was satisfactory.
You can't look anywhere bar the winner, and you're right, Alf. He knows his horses, this Vassal. He knows a good horse, and he identifies one, and he places them well. His record speaks for itself. She's very sharp, isn't she? She sprinted off the lead here and attacked the line like a very, very good filly. We talk about Redout's Choice and Fastnet Rock and Lonrose, but this one, Sazi, is a very good sire in his own right, and he's producing sprint.
Because the impressive part of Crystal Lily's dominant win here in the first round was that she ran close to a second faster than the Colts. Right?
Yeah.
Now, she set a reasonable benchmark here today, psychologist, at 1.
With Shane's looked them in the yard. Number one's not here. Well, they will be here shortly, don't worry. 2 is Innocent Gamble. The blinkers on session.
Yeah, and getting the buzz through that it's the sporting bet market move. Apparently, this last wave of money is a very...
Benito jumping fairly. Innocent Gamble got away fast. Wants to run about a little bit in the early stages. And General Truce, he pounced on the lead. Secession drives up and joins him. Songspur showing plenty of dashes up there. Third, Palazotti getting onto the back of the trio of leaders with Innocent Gamble. He's outside and Beneteau the rail. Therefore, 3 deep has the lead with Secession on the rails and General Truce in the middle. A length and a half, Innocent Gamble out 3 wide with cover to the turn, followed by Palazotti, who's trying to work away clear, and then Beneteau held up for a run on the rail. Into the straight now, Secession has been soaking up plenty of pressure. He leads on the rail with General Truce. Songspur dropped off. Beneteau gets into the clear. Palazotti on the outside. General Truce has the lead. But here's Beneteau winding up now in the Arrowfield colours. It's Beneteau taking the lead, drawing away in the Sydney Colt. Wow, he's impressive too. Beneteau, 2.5 Palazotti, the great and the good. He was great today. Came from last grab third, Secession 4, Palazotti weakened. Then Songspur towards the...
On the board, 1-2.45. They've gone 2/10 quicker. He had the sweet drop on them and explodes when the run presents itself for him. We're in for a great slipper. Arrowfield sponsor it. Arrowfield have got their runner, Beneteau. And Ganderton comes to Melbourne for one ride and wins. Impressive performance. Palazotti performance. You must be pleased.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Fantastic run. It's just excited to see him do it.
Also, I think the first and 22.78 compares to 22.65, so she's run quicker last one. I mean, you can go through that all you like, Shane, and come up with I need to see a psychologist.
Yeah, but they were both...
It was good. Unbeaten 2 from 2. He's got the Blue Diamond pedigree by Redout's, who won it. And out of Amir related, of course, to the great Alingi, who won it to beat General Truce, who keeps flying under the radar. The great and the good from back. Time slick on a slick time day, 1-2.45. Out of that race, Steve, he's the obvious one. He's got to do, but it hasn't been the preeminent form guide for the Diamond, has it?
Not necessarily, Bruce. In recent years, we've seen horses improve off poor runs in these prelude races. Undoubtedly, Nadim spring to mind. Beneteau, he was very good yesterday. He looks to track pretty comfortably the Melbourne way. He was leading on the right leg. You like a horse who can tuck off the speed and finish off in 2-year-old races. It's been the general pattern of Diamond winners in recent years. Our reward for effort last year, who sat 3 wide in the speed and kept going in an extraordinary performance. Time marginally quicker, 2/10. Does that mean anything? Not sure.
Don't think so.
A couple of years ago, we saw it was interesting
today because she went to $4.20, but Beneteau claimed top spot after that race, $3.60. Crystal Lily didn't race yesterday, as we know, $7.50. Star Witness, don't forget about it, at $8. The
right, it's the other.
Yeah, I look at that market and think, well,
position there. I think we're still running on hype of the day before. You know, Crystal Lily, I don't know if you've seen her win.
No, I haven't.
But she is absolutely outstanding. She's a running filly as well. And look, I'm sure he's the best colt. I'm sure he's the best colt, but the fillies are going to be tough nuts to crack.
Would you give up on a horse like...
Let's have a look at the market for race number 5, and this is the Rubiton Stakes. Will it be the 3-year-old fillies or the tough old sprinters, Lucky Secret, Hitty Angels, 340 and 650 against Irish Lights and Avenue, 460 and 360. That's the market. And 2 toughs at the top and 2 good little girls at the bottom. That's how it shapes up.
Secret. Michelle.
I'm saying that she's a class filly, so you can't rule her out as well.
All right, it's certainly going to be a great race to watch. Avenue, second favourite behind.
Jumping fairly down on the inside. Lucky Secret away very quickly and brings Irish Lights over with him at the early part. Happy Glen drives through. Avenue kicks up to retain the fence, and Golden Dubai is just off the leading bunch, followed by Silver Bullion, and then Secret Fly, Here to Angels, followed by Grand Sasso and Rostova. Avenue has the lead heading to the 600 metres. Happy Glen's on her outside, and Lucky Secret is out 3 deep. 2 lengths Gold in Dubai over on the inside, and Irish Lights looks to be nicely poised fifth with Heady Angels wider. They're followed by Silver Bullion, and then came Secret Flyer, Rostover, and Grand Sasso. Avenue against the fence, Lucky Secret out wider. Happy Glen between them, battling a little bit in the early part of the straight. Irish Lights was pulled to the outside. Avenue at the 200 with the Lucky Secret on his outside, and he now goes to the lead. Here's Heady Angels and Rostover flying home. It's Lucky Secret in front though from Heady Angels. Lucky Secret from Heady Angels. Heady Angels diving at him. Heady Angels got up and beat Lucky Secret. Photos for third, Rostover, wide out, and Grand Sasso, who made significant ground the rail. Then Avenue. Irish Lights didn't finish off after having a pretty good run. Followed Golden Dubai, the weakening Happy Glen, and then Silver Bullion, and back at the end of the field, Secret Flyer.
Course record's gone here, 1173. Taken a long-standing record off Intelligent Star, 1.86. What a great old horse he is here, the Angels. Old? Well, he's only 6. Mark Kavanagh joins us immediately after this win. Lucky Secret, good on speed, but Mark, he's a marvel, isn't he?
He is a marvel. Yeah, we put that little hat on him. Yeah, we put that little hat on him. He likes that little earmuffs, and he's a little bit eccentric, so him and I get on all right.
You've tried most of the figures.
Well, I did mention that was probably the one Monitor and beaten at home by 4 or 5. So the top 2, as you said, Lucky Secret, terrific on speed. Hit him.
Another Slade Bloodstock team persevering with this 6-year-old who's been a handful for many who have had to deal with him. 11 wins and 20 from 28 starts and more than 650,000 in prize money for perseverance. He wears the earmuffs.
And it just really identified the fact how good Black Caviar is. Like he sat 3, 4 deep the corner and battled on very, very strongly to the line. They've run good time. I thought Grand Sasso was very good off a break. And gee, even Rostover I thought was a very, very good performance. But then again, in saying that, the tempo of the race allowed those horses to be able to run on quite well too. Terrific race. They've run.
Can't give the horse enough credit. He deserves more credit, this horse. He's won 11 races now. It's the second time he's won this race. He's been a barrier rogue. He's been a handful. They've fiddled with his gear, put the earmuffs on him, and they've made the horse. He's gone better than ever, I'd suggest. He's flying here, the Angels. The disappointment of the race was Irish Lights. So much more was expected. Boss got her into a beautiful position there, and halfway through the race, it was the early crow. How far is this going to win by? She didn't even quicken, but all honours with the winner there.
The 1400-metre surface for us here at Caulfield. Feud's 21, Shocking's 26, Zipping 17, Sermione 81. They're all good horses, but this is not their race. Heart of Dreams at 6, Latorio 81, Dan Zolam 26, Raffaello 15, Typhoon Tracy $1.40. It went up out to $1.45.
And they had the tailwinds tracking them around, pushing them around all the way. So I'll be surprised, like Michelle, if this goes off. But we've got a sporting bet market mover. This is a surprise. They've taken 145 and taken it big time. So just before we go up to Greg Miles, we could tell you that this is a sporting bet market mover, number 10, Typhoon Tracy. But some punters who might be...
Of 9 and the Group 1. CF4 is set. Racing. And that's a pretty good start. The Cup winners, Viewed and Shocking, go back, and Dan Zynam away very fast. Leads Typhoon Tracy, Heart of Dreams, right up there, 3/4 away third. At the end with 800 metres to go. Dan Zynam out on an uncontested lead, 1.5 lengths. Typhoon Tracy staying right on his back, though. 2 lengths away, Heart of Dream. So the 2 favourites are there, second and third. Sermione getting up on the rail, 1.5 Laturio. Viewed, Raffaello zipping, and Shocking last when they sweep towards the turn now. Dan Zynam almost a length. Sitting quietly, Luke Nolan on Typhoon Tracy. He clicks the mare. She gets up within a half length of the leader. 2 lengths, Heart of Dreams tracking her, and then Sermione. Now the balance for home, and Typhoon Tracy level with Dan Zynam. 2 lengths, Heart of Dreams. Sermione running a big one, but Typhoon Tracy at the 200, showed the whip. She drew 1.5 lengths in front. Heart of Dreams, Sermione boxing on with Dan Zynam. She's too good though, Typhoon Tracy, and a comfortable win in the CF4 by 1.5 lengths. Bob and go between Heart of Dreams and Sermione for the Miners. Dan Zynam was 4th, and then came Latorio, battled nicely. Viewed got home, then Zipping, Raffaello and Shocking towards the tail of the field.
Well, she's won. She's got the job done. $1.30 and $1.40 taken here on course, but she's run very ordinary time on a fast day. 1:24.04. She got a very soft
chase for the race off the back of Dan Xylem. Quick and Just Fair. Heart of Dreams gives you the obvious Quinella. Sermion's run a beauty for third full coming out, but it's a Group 1 and it's on the mantelpiece.
Yeah, no, exactly. She, it's nice to get that one in open company out of the way. It's the first time away from Mares Grade. And, the second and third horses are Group 1 weight for age winners. So, we never expected it to be easy. And, the thing about her, if you go back through her record, her most brilliant wins have been when she's had to run fast first sectionals and she just breaks her heart and continues running. The days she's got it soft are the days that either she's disappointed a little or just fallen in. So, drawing 18 is nearly a bonus with this mare because she just runs them off the legs and goes ragged. So,
Is the real deal. Heart of Dreams ran where he was supposed to, but Michelle probably
the easiest Group 1 you'll get.
But they're never easy.
I know they're not easy, but you could have the right
She had to get here in one piece.
and you had to stay aboard, and she did that for you. She must be great to get aboard in the race.
She is. She's just got a wonderful attitude, and she's a fantastic sort of horse to have anything to do with. And you love to see these horses sort of run well in better races because you like them around the stable and you like them to stay.
Peter,
well done to the connections of Typhoon Tracy, confirming her ranking as the best race mare in the country, one of the best racehorses in the country. 3 Group 1s. Now she's an open Group 1 winner against Heart of Dreams, Sermione, and the Cups contenders. 8 wins from 11 starts. But I'm not sure that tells you anything about, she's what you see is what you get. She keeps herself out of trouble. She wins. But that was just a farce for Group 1 competition. That's not Group 1 competition. That's just hacking through the first half, Steve, and running home because you're better than them.
Well, certainly, Bruce. They ran the first 800 in 51.2. They run quicker than that in those barrier trials at Cranbourne for the 800 and skipped home in 32.8. So what does it tell us? It probably doesn't tell us any more or any less than what we already knew. As you said, she is the best race mare in the country at the moment, certainly up to a mile. As to those staying horses who we are now seeing about to cross the line, they all ran satisfactorily. They weren't going to be able to run home any quicker.
Well, Zipping's run second last and run 10.9 for the last furlong, and the winner ran 10.88. So, Rich, unless you can come up with...
See later, she makes her own luck, and that's the big difference, Mark, between good grade and A grade.
Well, that defines the weight for age horse we were saying off air before. If you can put yourself in the race, and it doesn't matter how fast or slow they go, you're there in the winning position at the top of the straight, and those horses are always hard to run down, aren't they?
I think a quick word on Sermione, running in the All Stakes for the 3rd year straight. He could only run 7th and 8th in the 2 previous years, and yesterday his run was very good, so maybe Bart's got him firing.
I suppose he posted up. There is the market from yesterday, or some changes from yesterday. You've been solid at 750. Speed gifted, will we see it? Firm tracks, definitely.
But then again, we knew it was going to be run like that, irrespective. And look, she still broke 11 seconds over the final 200 metres in 10.88 without really being totally extended. I would have thought Peter Moody would go home very, very pleased with that, being unharmed and going. So, terrific race, well-deserved, top-class horse.
Yeah, you won't get many more softer Group 1s than this race. It's a race that lacks depth. There was only 2 hopes in the race. The race was run according to script. The speed map was always going to be that way, with 2 or 3 horses that go forward, then the bunch of stayers. And like I say, there was no surprises there. Just all we can say is that she's come back well.
Movement in the gates. No, all right. They're racing. Switchblade slow to go. Rocketman midfield away. YB Capablanca. Rocketman striding up on the outside. Amadeus Mozart takes the trail 4th, just inside of Mooring. They're followed by Perfect Sky. A long way back is Handsome Jazz and Switchblade at the tail. After beginning moderately, Rocketman takes the lead. He's trying to cross YB. Robbie Fred's looking to his inside. He goes on a little bit more, 800 metres to go. And the Rocketman is the leader. Around the top end by 2 lengths on YB Capablanca. Jazz and Switchblade is last. They're starting to pack up behind Rocketman. In fact, they've moved up to join him. Coming towards the bend, Rocketman with the inside running. Capablanca, Mooring sprints quickly on the outside as they turn into the stretch, and then Perfect Sky. Robbie Fred sitting quietly, gives him a little bit more. Rocketman goes on with it. 200 metres to go. Rocketman drops them off as if they weren't there. He's 3 lengths on Mooring, then Capablanca and Perfect Sky, but it's to infinity and beyond for Rocketman. He looks after him down to the wall, puts him back on the bit, and Rocketman scores by 5. Second, Switchblade storming home. He's in a photo there with Capablanca, Perfect Sky and Mooring. Behind those horses, Amadeus Mozart, YB and Handsome Jazz.
Well, if there were any doubts about him first up, there were none at the 300-metre mark because he just dropped them off. Mooring, he tried to be a little bit tactical, Moreira. It was worth trying because he wasn't going to win the point of the home bench.
Australia's boom galloper Black Caviar has suffered a leg injury, forcing her out of the autumn. The unbeaten filly was set to be a dominant favourite for Saturday's Group 1 William Reid Stakes after returning in brilliant fashion.
About 4 lengths on the line.
I actually went as far to say to the owners on Tuesday morning, I've never seen a horse work so fast ever. And a horse that is as powerful and as fast as her, unfortunately, they lend themselves to possible injury.
Wanted will now...
All right, we've got one of the real highlights of the calendar coming up here at Royal Randwick. This is the Lightfingers Stakes, and we have, well, Group 2 for the 3-year-old fillies. We have a class field again, and the favourite, More Joyous. Well, she was a dominant filly with a light spring campaign, and hopefully she can come out and do the same right on start time. Here's Mark Sheehan for the call of the Lightfingers.
Thanks a lot, Caroline. More Joyous on the nose, downstairs out to $2.20 now. And trims all the rage. $3.70 into $3.20 on the tote. More Joyous. All set. They're off and racing, and Trim bound out of the stalls very quickly, and so too did More Joyous. So the first and second favourites pair off in the early stages. Prerequisites settling behind them third. Then the Queenslander sweepstaking ready on Sunday. Little Surfer Girl. Indian Ocean back third, last followed by So Anyway. And Run for Nara back last of all. Nash took the favourite to the front. And More Joyous sped away at the 800, led by 2 lengths on Trim. He'll drop in behind it, prerequisite third. Then about 2 or 3 lengths to sweepstaking on the outside of Ready on Sunday. Little Surfer Girl midfield without cover. And then Indian Ocean, well back was So Anyway. And Run for Nara last of all. More Joyous the leader as they come to the 450. Trim a length and a half away second. Still about 2 lengths to prerequisite third. And the others are headed by sweepstaking. More Joyous angling out about 5 off the inside. She's going well. Trim's about 2 lengths away. McAvoy starting to urge her along to come after the leader. And she's starting to eat into the lead now. More Joyous in front. He's flat on the More Joyous. Trim's flat also behind it. More Joyous is hanging onto the lead. She'll lead all the way. More Joyous. Gay's Golden Girl's back, and she wins it well from Trim. Sweepstaking got third. Then prerequisite. Followed further back by Indian Ocean running on late. At the head of the others, Dexter got So Anyway. Stin.
Gay's Golden Girl indeed, well called by Mark Sheehan. More Joyous. Great to see these Group 1 winning fillies coming back and winning on.
Call Mark Sheen. Gay's Golden Girl is back, and boy, oh boy, she was outstanding, wasn't she? She was awesome today. She was joyous, has scooted away to win easy too. 109.8, pretty good on this slow track. 109.8, very good on this track. 1-3.
She skipped away from her rivals. As I said in the spring, you won't see anything but her heels this preparation.
But today, she was dominant right from the moment the gates opened. Bang, straight to the front, and that was it.
I had to have a little laugh after she won because everyone was pulling on her tail and mine going into the race. And I just thought, sure, class will prevail. And that's exactly what it did.
It's certainly
good on there. He is chatting with Denise Martin. Congratulations to you, Singo. She's a wonderful filly, great for racing. 1 3/4 lengths by 2 1/4.
Yeah, great description there by Mark. The Golden Girl, we need her. She was outstanding yesterday, dominant. Trim's a top-class 3-year-old filly, but made to look second-rate by an outstanding one in More Joyous, and that decision to dodge the serious spring and let her furnish played off yesterday. We look forward to seeing a lot more of her, Steve.
Well, it looks that way, Bruce, doesn't it? I'm wondering where the opposition's coming from. Bossie's cast his doubts on Irish Lights. We have Weeks and Melito. Where's Melito?
Just come back into work. I believe they're getting set for the Stradbroke up in Queensland, Melito, Steve. But More Joyous, the stewards are embarrassed after the race at a slow 7, which is bordering on heavy, that she ran 198. They quickly made an announcement, slow 6.
Yeah, but the races after, they ran 8/10 slower. She went that good. I think Trim and Sweepstaking ran the races of their lives, and More Joyous just murdered them. So it was an astonishing performance.
Aaron McAvoy, I said...
You've got a big opinion of the first two.
Oh, look, she's outstanding. She's outstanding. I think she's a class here. Look, she's bred to stay all through her pedigree as just stay. Good Melbourne Cup sort of pedigree here, like Shootout. She's brilliant. She's too brilliant. This is a Doncaster filly, this. She can go along in front and accelerate off speed. This is a slow track, and she's broke 110. You've got to give the Randwick track credit yesterday. It was absolutely outstanding, the Randwick track. But this is an outstanding filly, and she beat
a bloody good filly in trim as well. She don't hold her first and second here, the two fillies.
I'm not sold yet. I'm not sold on More Joyce. I know she's got talent, and I know she beat fillies at that level all the time, but you get her into a race where there's a bit more pressure on her.
Pressure? They run 198 on a slow track.
Was anything within a length of her?
Well, she's too fast. That's her cruising speed.
That's fine. Wait till she gets in a race with older horses and there's a bit of pressure on her. That's when I want to see if she's going to stand up. Not saying she won't. I'm just not sold yet.
Already a Group 1 winner for Gay Waterhouse. Manhattan Rain, the half-brother to Redute's Choice. He's resuming here, and he is a short price favourite for the Royal Sovereign.
Yep, a lot of people think he's getting out to good odds, and of course we did get an upgrade following the previous event to a slow 6. That was when More Joyce broke 110. They said, please.
Royal Sovereign, Delago Bolt, the first one to come forward. There has been some money for shootout, as Richard pointed out. He didn't have a great deal of luck at the Gold Coast his last start. He was 3 and 4 wide the entire trip, and of course he won the Sires at Eagle Farm on a wet track, and then was a beaten favourite in the TJ Smith at the run after that. On top of the ladder, Manhattan Rain bounded in the air at the start. He's come out last. He was playing up in the stalls, and the odds-on favourite was last out. And Viking Legend landed in front and is the leader from More Than Great, settling down. Gathering going up to third on the outside from Delago Bolt, and then came the Mikado, followed by Shootout in the centre. Manhattan Rain back second last. I'm sure that wasn't the plan, and going back to last is Saint in Costa. They've travelled about 400 metres, and Viking Legend showing plenty of speed. Shows out by 2.5. More Than Great being pushed along in second spot, and then Delago Bolt. Shootouts in the middle on the outside. There's Gathering. And then came the Mikado, Saint in Costa, and Manhattan Rain's gone back to last now. They're on the swing for home, and Viking Legend is the leader. He's still working on More Than Great in second spot from Delago Bolt. At the head of the others, Shootout from Gathering the Mikado. Manhattan Rain comes to the outside. He's still about 5 or 6 off the leader, which is his stablemate Viking Legend. Has he pinched a march? He's in front. More Than Great coming after them with Delago Bolt. Manhattan Rain is still coming down the outside, but More Than Great got level with Viking Legend. Shootout is starting to burst through in the centre. More Than Great's just in front, and More Than Great will win it from Shootout. More Than Great beat Shootout and Viking Legend, and then came Delago Bolt. Then came Manhattan Rain, who lost his chance at the start, but he was out finished late. And then came the...
And he has taken out the Royal Sovereign. He's beaten home on the outside. Well, at one stage looked like Shootout might have been the winner. And third placing to Viking Legend. And Manhattan Rain, well, he did cost him...
Oh, terrific, mate. Big thrill.
You said you wanted to see him hitting the line hard. Well, he was.
He hit it hard. Yeah, he's a good horse, mate.
There was plenty of speed on, but boy, oh boy, we said before the race, you said looking towards the Derby distance, he stepped up a huge amount in grade today.
Yeah, he did, but he's always showed me, a lot of blokes doubted me, you know, but I knew he was real good.
Beat now, and it's hard because you just thought he had won, but his effort was great.
Oh, no, very good run, Richie, but I think I put a...
He shot himself down. More on that with Glyn Schofield shortly. Cost us 15,000 as a yearling. En route to the AJC Derby now by High Chaparral, of course, the sire of So You Think. And good performance, More Than Great, threw it away perhaps. And, well, it was all over, Rich, at the start, wasn't it, for Manhattan Rain?
Yeah, it certainly was. He went up in the air. He was his run was okay. He probably just knocked up from the 50-metre mark home. I see Derby. High shootout mark. I thought he might be a little bit brilliant, perhaps, for a Derby, but that's where Johnny Wallace wants to go. He's heading towards the AJC Derby.
Well, just looking back through the records, only one horse has figured in the Derby out of this race, Danewin, many years ago. It hasn't been a race that has produced horses that go on to the Derby, but Viking Legend, I was so surprised that he actually led a 1,200-metre race. Horse who's placed in the VRC Derby, so maybe he's the one that's going to be the Derby horse.
Danewin.
Shana joins us here in our studios. John, good morning and welcome.
Thank you, Graham.
Did you think you'd won?
No, I didn't. I said to David Payne, I shook his hand straight away. He's a mate of mine, and I said, "You beat me, eh?" And he said, "Yeah." Next thing, he looked up at the big screen. He said, "No, I think you might have got me." So that was it. Yeah.
You've been spruiking about him for quite some time. Has this horse tested your patience a bit?
Not really. He's always showed me plenty, and just in a few...
Manhattan Rain.
Well, Manhattan Rain was obviously the high-profile horse in the race, and he was an odds-on favourite. But it's well documented now. He reared at the start and and got back in the field and had a lot of work to do. I was just a little disappointed that he couldn't get past the logo bolt the last 20 or 30 yards. So jury's out on Manhattan Rain. I think the confidence was sky high.
This is a wonderful race for the mares, the Breeders' Classic. And here on course, we have 260 for Madame Padrille, the favourite, Rich.
9.50 out to 11, Bejeweled, 8 250, 270. Prima Nova's at $17. Strawberry Field, 657, 650. Carrots, pardon me, at number 7, $12 into $10. Bejeweled, 8 out to 9.
Drill jumped about 4th or 5th, but Jill was the best out. Alberta came out well, but is easing back. Montana Flyer going forward along the inside will take up the running. And then came Madame Padrille just off the speed with a quiet Logan's Choice over on the fence improving. And then came a Currents followed by Alberta, Strawberry Field, and last of all is Prima Nova. At the end of 400, Montana Flyer led. 3/4 on Bejeweled sitting outside it. Then came Logan's Choice, followed by a Quiet and Madame Padrille racing out wide on a limb. At the head of the others, a Currents midfield, followed by Alberta, Strawberry Field and Prima Nova back at the tail. They're going past the halfway mark. Montana Flyer in front. Bejeweled is second. Madame Padrille starting to stride up a bit closer on the outside. Then Logan's Choice and a Quiet, a Currents, Alberta, Strawberry Field and Prima Nova. Up the rise they come. Montana Flyer in front. Led out by a length. Here comes Madame Padrille with its run. Bejeweled in between them, and then came Alberta. Montana Flyer in front of the 200. Madame Padrille just about on terms, and Alberta's got the last shot. She's sweeping down the outside. Alberta rushed up to hit the lead, and Alberta's coming right away the last little bit, and Alberta won it from Montana Flyer and Madame Padrille. Then Prima Nova, Strawberry Field and the Currents, followed by Bejeweled, Logan's Choice, and finishing at the rear was Acquired.
A Group 2, the Breeders' Classic for Alberta, for Paul Massara and Ty Anglin. This lovely mare by Flying Spur. Well, she's always...
Drive.
Yep, 720, 220. The winner, 110.58 was the time. $1.90 Montana Flyer, $1.40 Madame Padrille.
Arrowfield, $25,000. Couldn't make the money. Reject. Give it to Paul Massara. She's done a great job. She's won more than $500,000 from 7 races. She was good yesterday, Montana. I think that race, Rich, what you see is what you get. Prima Nova charging home, does that all the time. You'll go broke following her.
Yeah, Madame, some of the best form of her career. In fact, I think this is nearly one of the best wins of her career, if not the best. And the reason I say that is I think it's a pretty strong field of mares, that. And although you might say that the race was run to suit Alberta, I think she's on an absolute purple patch at the moment. When you get a mare that age and a little purple patch like this, Paul Massara is doing exactly the right thing with her, and that's just keep her going, because mares at this age, they can go off and never, ever come back. So while she's flying like this, keep her flying. I think she's, look, everyone would love to have a good old mare like that.
Yeah, it does seem like she's been up forever, but you needed a fit horse on those conditions yesterday. And she's just a good, tough mare who had them covered a long, long way out. When she found that favourites back there, she was always going to win, and a very, very good ride from Ty Anglin.
Extra Zero. The favourite, though, is Linton. There's the tote call on your screen now, $3, please. And the only other horse in the betting is the favourite, Linton. At $3.80 on course, with $4.50 on the tote. In the ring is the current quote. $4.20 at your top flucker. More money coming late for Linton, but the market mover is off-handed. This should be a good race as we go to Greg for the Top Cut Alistair Clark Stakes.
Take the wrap about to come along. Here's Linton currently holding favouritism. 4 into 370 with the bookmakers and 380 on Fitterspatch. Right, clear! That's it. They're racing now. Off-handed jumps away well with Viking Hero. The head's away fast. Full Metal Jacket begins quickly in the early part. Linton eases back from his outside barrier and Take the Wrap went back to last. It's off-handed out very wide, racing up to the first turn. He's up in the lead with the leading bunch of horses. At the Heads takes the front from Otto. At the Heads in front, almost a length off-handed. A length away Full Metal Jacket, a further length away Viking Hero fourth, and then one to Eraset. Cosmocrat moving up 3 deep on the outside of Extra Zero. A length and a half away, then Linton tracking into it. Being followed then by Prost second last, and last on the inside, Take the Wrap. So up the side, At the Heads a half in front, off-handed second. Viking Hero moved to third. Cosmocrat wider out from Full Metal Jacket back on the rail, and then came Eraset. Extra 0-5 off the leader. Linton taking off around the field. He's running on strongly. And then Take the Wrap and Prost to the turn they race now. Off-handed Cosmocrat, Viking Hero tackling At the Heads. Linton just off them, followed by Extra Zero, and then came Take the Wrap. Offhanded and Cosmocrat come around the turn together with Linton swooping out wider. At the heads trying to fight back into the straight now. Linton out wide has raced up to Offhanded, and at the heads is fighting back, but it's Linton in front. Take the Rap coming home, Offhanded fighting on, but Linton stands up and wins it brilliantly on the line by a length and a half. Either Take the Rap, Offhanded, or at the heads have kicked back for the minor end of the prize, and then Cosmocrat followed by Viking Hero Iraset, and behind these Extra Zero, well, he blew like the north wind in the betting ring, and he didn't finish off. And at the end of the two, Patnax crossed back there in company with Full Metal Jacket.
Well, perhaps another star is born for Team Williams here, and Michael Rod. Don't go too soon on the comparisons with Efficient. There's a lot to like about the way this horse is progressing off a big maiden win to come to town, wind up wide and keep on coming and make a pretty handy field look second rate. The first 1,000 went through in 64-1. And he's had to do a lot of chasing, and he's put a margin on Take the Rap offhanded.
And he's a really promising horse. A little bit lost, and
Nick, not wanting to get too far ahead of ourselves, but he looks something pretty special.
Looks A grade, doesn't he? He's just watching it here on the replay. You know, the race wasn't run to suit. There wasn't that much pace in it, or didn't look it to the eye anyway. And Michael rode him beautifully and put him in the race at the top of the straight, and he was just too sharp for them.
It's really went the deep end.
You know, all our staff up there were very keen for him to run. They think he's something special, and you know, I'm not sure if you're aware, but his full brother was up in Hong Kong. He broke a leg and died on the track, but they said that he might have been the best up there when he did it. And so much for them. And Glenn Boss used to ride him up there actually. And so anyway, we're hopeful with this bloke. You know, he's certainly done as much as we could ask of him at this stage. We bought him at the Ready to Run sale in New Zealand. He's another great advertisement for New Zealand Bloodstock. Exposure like this, you know, we've obviously got a horse that's a group horse of the future, and he's going to go on if we look after him. So we'll be just doing the right thing by the.
And I've also spoken to Nick Hall, and Nick put a massive rap on him, and Lloyd sort of backed that up, and he just said give him time, and he's still learning, but give him time early in the race and let him come into it late, but make sure he goes through his gears and he's balanced. And pretty much from about the 600 metres onwards, I didn't think I was going to get beat. You know, he's travelling so well, but still looking around and stuff like that. But he was all right once when he had.
We'll touch more on that as we line him up alongside Efficient, who couldn't win a group race at his third start. Linton did so. Michael Rod, brilliant late sectionals off a slow speed. He looks a real star out of the race. Extra Zero, they're going to add blinkers. Might have to do more. They're going to take on Linton again, but Steve, he was awesome yesterday.
Yeah, pretty good. I guess he's got in common with Efficient that they both got beaten at their first start. More on that a little bit later. Look, he looked terrific yesterday, but it was an absurdly slow pace. He got onto the back of Cosmocrat, got a beautiful card into the race. Recent history of this race is pretty ordinary. Sound Journey, Preeminence, and Lieutenant, Spinney, those sort of horses. I mean, at this stage, these are the second level 3-year-olds. These aren't Demerit, Denman, Trusting, but he might go on to be a star.
Well, hang on. Glenn Boss rode him his first start. He might have a better idea of than us. So what do you make of him, Glenn? Midweek at Betfair Park, which he won, which was Linton's goal from a bad gate. Won the Vase at his fifth start, Group 2. This horse has won a Group 2 at his third start and goes to the paddock.
So you're saying he's better than Efficient?
Well, he's got the potential to be as good as. It's a great year of 3-year-olds. We'll come back to Bossy talking about the horse in Hong Kong. There's the market for the guineas. Of course, it changed a big time this week with So You Think out and Shamaline Warrior out, $1.85.
No Efficient went on and won a derby. This is an exceptional racehorse. Hard and fit, goes to the paddock now. He'll come back. And I tell you what, they just pick a race that they want, and he's the way to go without question at all. I thought Take the Rap's effort under the circumstances was very, very good indeed. It had to get back and to the point.
He's an outstanding racehorse, It's a shame he's going to the paddock. I would have loved to seen him here in Sydney winning the Randwick Guineas and the Derby, because he would have had those races at his mercy. I remember talking to Lloyd Williams on radio about him buying all these Galileos. Well, as a rule, we hate them here in Australia. They're useless. And I know why he bought them all now, because he is an absolute pearl of that horse. I can't wait for him in the spring.
Okay.
Opens the door now for our Group 1 race here. This is the Pulse Pharmacy William Reid Stakes. Great lineup of sprinters headed by Nakoni. There's the tote market. Blood Fantastics at 6.50. Nakoni's at 2.80. Tight the tote. Turfontaine's out to 11. Shell Scrape 5 out to 6. And Wanted 3.5 out to 4. Been betting they do.
Forward or back.
So do
you often go out with a plan B. You know, okay.
Oh, for sure.
Ideally, this
race. Racing. And one of the first to show out Wanted and wanting the lead, kicking up on the inside. Light Fantastic. He finds the front ahead of Turfontaine and Wanted. And behind these 2 lengths away is Mentalities. Outside Nakoni and Shell Scrape in the middle. 2 lengths Sniper's Bullet and Master O'Reilly. 2 lengths last. Light Fantastic leads to the first turn. Wanted a length away second to Turfontaine. Mentality a length away covering ground out wide. Nakoni's on the fence and then Shell Scrape. 1 further back, Sniper's Bullet, and 2 lengths away is Master O'Reilly. Light Fantastic, a length and a half clear. Wanted second, Turfontaine third, 600 to go. Mentality out wider, followed by Nakoni on the fence with Shell Scrape, and then came Sniper's Bullet and Master O'Reilly. Only 5 lengths covered them coming towards the turn. Light Fantastic by a neck. Wanted second, Turfontaine niggled at third. They're 2 to 3 lengths in front of Nakoni, who's going to rail through, and then came Sniper's Bullet. Shell Scrape is back in the field and struggling. Light Fantastic tackled by Turfontaine. Turfontaine raced up to Light Fantastic. Wanted kicking back in the middle, 100 to go. And it's Turfontaine getting the upper hand. Wanted kicking back. Sniper's Bullet flies. Turfontaine ahead to Wanted. Sniper's Bullet third the outside, I'd say, from Light Fantastic. Further back, Master O'Reilly, Mentality, Nakoni struggle only, and Shell Scraper disappointing last.
Group 1's Glen Boss. Bossy loves them. Turfontaine swoops late to nail Wanted. Will he ever win a Group 1 Wanted? Second again, he gave his all. Sniper's Bullet, fantastic. Light Fantastic controlled the speed. Some flops here. Shell Scrap gone before the corner. Nakoni very disappointing, but
value straight away into all the multiples, including the big 6, the $2 million big.
I've got a real soft spot for this horse. He's just a real prime example of a colt who probably hasn't got the turn of foot or tenacity, or brilliance of some of these other horses, but he's got an amazing, when he gets on these surfaces, that's when he's really excels, like you see when he last started at the Rupert Clark. He gets on, when he gets on dead tracks, sort of bordering slow, he's got sort of feet problems, and when he gets those conditions, he just really excels. And
Tuesday at the Valley was excellent, and he just really proved himself at the level.
It's the track conditions for him. That's the only real issue. If he gets on a track where he's given the ground, he finds the necessary 2 lengths that he's got. On a firm surface, he loses 2 lengths, and that's about what he gets beaten in a couple of the major sprints and so thus far. But
Investment for the English Premier sale bought for $70,000 there with 2 Group 1s. He's now, yesterday, took his prize money earnings to $1.2 million. Wanted 3 straight seconds in Group 1s. Sniper's Bullet, good lot, fantastic playing. Nakoni horrible. Shell Scrape ditto, but pulled up coughing. Master O'Reilly, fantastic. Glenn, great win.
He took him to New Zealand for a run on the Telegraph over there. He fractured his cannon in that race. It was a really hard track. And since he's come back and raced after that, unless we get those soft conditions, he just doesn't stretch out. It hurts his legs. So, as Bossy said, dead tracks and perhaps a little bit worse, very comfortable for him. Allows him to race to his potential, and his potential is absolutely Group 1 standard.
Anthony. Nicola talking about Shell Scrape there, pulled up with a pretty excessive cough, apparently. There's the Newmarket market with All Silent heading it at $4.40. Wanted at $10. He'll back up the Oakley Plate. Eagle Falls, ditto Oakley Plate into the Newmarket. Turfontaine at $12. And the Hustler we'll see next week, $14. Tolospree we'll see.
Realise that Wanted raced too hard outside the leader, and probably, look, he'll get his chance one day. We've continually said that, but I'm beginning to wonder, because I thought that was probably his opportunity. Shell Scrape pulled up coughing, like everyone that had something on it, was absolutely pitiful. Outside of that, Nakoni got pushed back to the inside, didn't get any cover, over raced, totally ignore the run.
I have to agree with most of those things. I think that race, and I don't want to be negative about the race, because I think Turfontaine's a terrific horse, and he's been a great money spinner for his connections and will continue to be. I think that's probably the worst William Reid I've seen in the last decade, as far as the class of sprinter that ran in it. So I think it gave a horse like Turfontaine, who's probably better at 1400 at Caulfield, and you look back through, if Apache Cat was in there at his top, if Miss Andretti was in there at a top, they'd have spaced those horses yesterday. So I think he was just placed beautifully by Anthony Cummings. He got in a Group 1 that he could win, and he presented him right on the day. So all credit to the connections at Turfontaine. Wanted, yes, he will win a Group 1 while this quality of horse is going around in the Group 1 sprints. And the other horse, I sort of looked at Nakoni halfway through the running and thought, oh, you're in the wrong spot. you're back on the inside there. I don't like it there in those big races at Moonee Valley. Back on the inside, it's not a great place to be. And
here's a key race coming up for the big six here. Yes,
anybody left?
Sarita, $1.70. Fair to say, if this goes under in the Moonee Valley Sunlight,
You might not like that, so you'll say, "I just pat it on the neck," or he might be touching.
Arnold going for a treble on Zarita. Away they go. She jumps reasonably well. Pagan Princess alongside of her, a little slow to move. Away fast in the early stages, Rolling Stock out looking for the lead. Casual Friday's up there on the outside of Silver City Miss, and Divine Rebel just drops in behind them fourth. Zarita's edged away from the rails there as they run up to Wallaby. All Talk No Action was second last, and a length away is Princess Maritza. 8 lengths covered them. They come up the side of the course, and Rolling Stock the leader. 3/4 Casual Friday, Silver City Miss, Divine Rebel. Shell's Alibi pokes up on the outside, and Zarita one away from the rail trying to work a passage through. She's cluttered up for a run as Princess Maritza went from last to first at the school in a twinkling. Michelle Payne dashing Princess Maritza a length and a half in front of Rolling Stock. Casual Friday. Then came Divine Rebel. Zarita back second or third last. She's in traffic problems coming up towards the turn, the favourite. Here's Divine Rebel after Princess Maritza as they swing around the turn. She put her nose in front. Then came Casual Friday. Now Zarita gets into the clear. She's coming down the outside. Princess Maritza again went to the lead. But here's Zarita with just pounds grabbing the lead. That's another great win. Zarita beat Princess Maritza by a neck and a photo third. Divine Rebel or Silver City Miss with Pagan Princess out wider. And then Rolling Stock, and behind them All Talk No Action, Delta G, and then Casual Friday. And back at the end of the field, Shell's Alibi.
And one of the punt drives had a drink at some stage. Pat said the only thing that could beat her would be bad luck. She got all that and she still won. A la the stock stakes here. Michelle Payne tried to make it happen a la Lukey Nolan earlier with Speedy Natalie. Got rolling and she really got the fave off the bit here. She's denied by class here. Zarita. Arnold gets 3 for the day. Punters.
Yeah, boys. Bill Frost is the owner as well, so Bruce can have a chat to both Bill and Pat.
We've got Bill and Pat. We'll start with you, Pat. You said
Great patient ride, forcibly patient for Steve Arnold to give him 3 for the day. Terrific tactical ride by Michelle Payne on the runner-up to try and make something happen. She stretched Zarita, but Zarita had too much class on the day. Great race to watch, Steve, in terms of the tactics.
Yeah, it certainly was, Bruce, and you feel a bit sorry for Michelle Payne because she tried to make something happen. Again, they went very slowly early, as was the case in the Alistair Clark earlier in the day. But Zarita at weight for age, carrying the same weight as these other mares. Easy to say it now, of course, but she's just too good for them under those conditions. And I think, as Pat Hyland touched on yesterday, they have to have a crack at the Australian Cup. Beaten a length and a half last year, running fourth, and beaten about the same margin in Maldivian's Cox Plate. And given that it's not going to be the greatest Australian Cup ever run, I think you've got to have a crack.
It'd be hard to win. Rich won it.
Oh, look, she was in
Australian Cup market. And here's what she could be up against, Zarita, or what she should be up against. Speed Gifted runs next week. Viewed and Shocking. The Cup winners are there. Our Accoleme in the market. There's a horse that you would have been riding next week, Glenn. Changing of the Guard. We'll see it later. Look to give you a great.
But Zarita, look, I don't think personally she's at her best like she was maybe 18 months ago, but still good enough to be able to beat that class of horse.
Geez, the punters that laid the short prices there, look, they could have smoked 2 cigarettes while that race was being run with the panic that was setting in there, the position that she was in, where Stephen Arnold was back there smoking his peace pipe. He was just cool as a cucumber. She's earned a crack at the Australian Cup. She's a great mare, and she'll perform well in that race. A great ride and a great call. I thought a great call by Greg Miles there.
I don't get the great ride thing. I think Stephen Arnold, fabulous rider.
Look, that was a high-pressure ride. She was an odds-on favourite in an awful spot.
I understand that. I know, and the pace was slow in that race, which doesn't suit Zarita. And, she got left flat-footed when the others sprinted. And Michelle Payne was a better ride, to be honest. I'm not trying to take anything away from Steve Arnold. Rode brilliantly on the day. That just wasn't the best example of it because he just got caught victim of circumstance. And he did what any...
Where was it a victim of circumstance?
Well,
you put out where it was a victim of circumstance.
Because the pace didn't suit her. and he
Well,
can't
what do you
control
want him
that.
to do about it? Well, he got an uninterrupted run. He got to the right part of the track.
I'm saying you rode it badly. All I'm saying is you did what
You're
every
saying
other...
he's a victim of
I'm
circumstances.
saying you do what any other jockey would have done in the same situation. That just wasn't a particularly good example of him riding well. There are better ones.
Well, go and have another look.
But it was a particularly good example of Michelle Payne riding well, because she took initiative, she knew there was slow pace, and she made a race of it. And I thought that was pretty clever.
There.